Chapter 224. Guo Chuanjiang, who had been kicked by Su Yun, had a drastic change in expression. When he was running the noodle shop, he had been kicked by hooligans and even smashed his stall. However, he could endure it for the sake of his livelihood and could even smile. However, ever since he started working for Zhang Taisui, no one dared to be rude to him. Therefore, Guo Chuanjiang had already forgotten the feeling of being humiliated. In addition, Guo Chuanjiang had more or less begun to practice martial arts under Zhang Taisui's guidance, so he was more or less a master. Therefore, he couldn't take this lying down. His anger exploded in an instant. Guo Chuanjiang, who had just fallen to the ground, suddenly jumped up like a carp, his fat body agilely flipping over. "How dare you fight with me? Today I will let you know that I, Guo Chuanjiang, am the king of hell in Jibei City." Guo Chuanjiang's morale exploded. He stared at Su Yin like a hungry wolf looking for food. He was waiting for Su Yin to reveal his weakness and give him a fatal blow. Ling Jiling saw this and quickly stood up. She knew that Boss Guo was really angry. Although Guo Chuanjiang usually looked like a smiling tiger, when he was really angry, it was also terrible. She had seen Guo Chuanjiang break 4 or 5 ribs of a second-rate actor, who acted like a big shot on set. Therefore, she knew that this person's temper was definitely not the gentle fat man that he appeared to be. Even so, Su Yin was still calm. He sat on the sofa with a smile on his face, and leisurely picked up the tea in his cup. "This is such a good tea. You can't spoil your mood when you drink it. Sister Jiling was scared by you. Sigh, what a waste of God's gift." The moment Guo Chuanjiang saw Su Yin pick up the teacup, his feet suddenly exploded. His fat body was like a giant rubber ball, crazily rushing towards Su Yin's direction. He had finally waited for Su Yin to reveal his weakness. However, Guo Chuanjiang had underestimated Su Yin's strength. He was a third-rate master, but in Su Yin's eyes he was nothing. Of course, Su Yin didn't care at all. He could stroll in front of Guo Chuanjiang and be at ease. Guo Chuanjiang's fat fist shot out like an arrow, aiming directly at Su Yin's face, but Su Yin easily dodged it by tilting his body slightly. Under Guo Chuanjiang's astonished gaze, Su Yin once again raised his leg and kicked towards his lower abdomen. This time, it was not a simple kick. The huge force that contained a little bit of inner strength forcefully kicked Guo Chuanjiang's huge body, which was more than 200 kilograms, 5 meters away. In Su Yin's eyes, this kick was an understatement, but in Ling Jiling's eyes, it was terrifying. Just as Guo Chuanjiang's body fell heavily, the office door was pushed open again. Assistant Li Sisi looked at Guo Chuanjiang in shock. She was so shocked that she couldn't say a word. Soon after, Zhuo Meiyan slowly walked into the room and waved her hand. At this time, Li Sisi hurriedly left the room and closed the door. Ling Jiling was shocked. She knew very well what kind of person President Zhuo was. After all, Guo Chuanjiang was one of Sky Entertainment's top executives. Now that he was in such a miserable state, Zhuo Meiyan definitely wouldn't let this person off easily. Although Ling Jiling was still a little disgusted by Su Yin when he asked her for her underwear, he had still attacked Guo Chuanjiang out of chivalry and gentlemanly spirit. This made Ling Jiling have a slight favorable impression of Su Yin. She didn't want President Zhuo to punish Su Yin too severely. However, Zhuo Meiyan's reaction was far beyond Ling Jiling's expectations. "Guo Chuanjiang, you really know how to find trouble for yourself." Zhuo Meiyan wasn't angry at Su Yin for attacking Guo Chuanjiang. Instead, she looked at Guo Chuanjiang with a smile on her face. "You dared to attack the old man's godson? I really want to ask, did you eat a bear's heart or a leopard's guts?" Guo Chuanjiang's face, which was originally full of anger, changed in an instant. That kind of surprise and fear filled his eyes without any concealment. He stuttered, Old masters, Su Yin." Zhuo Meiyan ignored Guo Chuanjiang's shock and didn't wait for him to finish speaking. She directly introduced him. "You must be familiar with this name, right?" "Not unfamiliar." "No, not unfamiliar." Guo Chuanjiang couldn't care less about the immense pain in his lower abdomen. He hurriedly struggled to get up from the ground and looked at Su Yin with an apologetic expression. "Oh, young Master Su, you really didn't tell me just now. If I knew you were young Master Su, even if I had 180 guts, I wouldn't dare to speak rudely to you. My brain, I really was blind." Ling Jiling's jaw almost dropped to the ground. She didn't expect Su Yun to have such a shocking identity. Everyone related to Sky Entertainment Group knew that Zhang Taisui had a godson, but not many people had seen him before. She didn't expect to see him today. God! Just now this young master actually asked for underwear. What should she do? Ling Jiling's mind buzzed. She was completely dumbfounded. Su Yun spat out the tea in his mouth. He was really shocked by Guo Chuanjiang's young master Su. Zhuo Meiyan fiercely rolled her eyes at Su Yun. You spat out at least 5 figures. Don't waste a heavenly treasure like that. After the old man left, you can't get Wui de Hongpao even if you rely on connections. Don't think that just because you drink it I don't care. If it wasn't for Sister Fengning spoiling you, I wouldn't have let Li Sisi make it for you. Su Yun stuck out his tongue and muttered, stingy. Zhuo Meiyan finally sat down. She said to Ling Jiling, who had been standing nervously behind Su Yun, Jiling, sit. I called you here today to talk to you about the advertisement. At this time, Guo Chuanjiang also sat down on a chair. It seemed that with Zhuo Meiyan and Su Yun here, he didn't have the right to sit on the sofa. Director Zhuo, please tell me, I'll do as you say. Ling Jiling smiled slightly but didn't sit down. Even a high-ranking person like Guo Chuanjiang sat on a chair. She was glamorous outside, but in this room, she was an artist signed by someone else. Her job was given to her by someone else. Zhuo Meiyan didn't stand on ceremony with her. Instead, she said directly, their advertisement might be a little bold. After all, it's an advertisement for underwear. Of course, you don't need to be completely nude on camera. You only need to do a few scenes where you pull open your clothes to reveal your underwear. There's also a scene where you take off your black stockings in the bathroom. Ling Jiling didn't say anything. She continued to listen to Zhuo Meiyan quietly. Su Yun and Guo Chuanjiang, on the other hand, couldn't remain calm. Not to mention Fatty Guo, even Su Yun, who had high self-control, couldn't wait to see Sister Jiling do such a seductive pose in front of the camera. That's because you've always been packaged as a pure and innocent girl since your debut. Moreover, you're not a particularly open-minded girl. Therefore, I don't know if this request will be difficult for you. Zhuo Meiyan continued. This is a face-saving job. The other party specifically asked you to do it because you're quite influential in Asia. Since the old man's old friend asked, I really don't know how to refuse. Hearing this, Ling Jiling didn't have any objections. President Zhuo, if that's the case, then I'll do as you say. Plus, it's the old man's old friend, so I can't embarrass Sky Entertainment. Hearing this, Zhuo Meiyan smiled happily. Jiling, the old man didn't misjudge you back then. I'll have to trouble you this time. It's what I should do, Ling Jiling said. Oh right, since you agreed. The other party also said that you'll be the one to decide on the male role. You have to have a good body. It's best if you have defined muscles. The more obvious the mermaid line, the better. As for fame, there's no requirement because you're the main star. Zhuo Meiyan reached out and picked up Su Yun's teacup. She didn't care that it was Su Yun's cup at all. Su Yun was speechless. Ling Jiling was stunned. There's a male role? The entire commercial is about how the female character seduces the male character with her underwear in the bathroom. Zhuo Meiyan shrugged. You know that this luxury brand's underwear is all about sexy and enchanting. In the beginning, they chose Leonardo as the male lead, but I don't think he's the idol he used to be. He's an experienced actor. The price is too high and it'll overshadow your elegance. After all, the main character of the commercial is women's underwear, not a famous celebrity. That's why I asked for your opinion. They also agreed with me, so they gave you the right to choose the male role. As for the price, of course, the lower the better. I promised them that since we can choose the role, then we'll pay for it. In the future, we'll need their sponsorship. Haha, let's do them a favor. Ling Jiling was really worried now. Although it was just a short commercial, it was hard to get the mood for such a passionate scene. Unless she found a male role that she was really interested in, she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to express herself. Moreover, there were very few male stars who could train their muscles to the point of a mermaid line. She really couldn't get the mood. Most importantly, she had to save money. It was so difficult. Guo Chuanjiang couldn't help but interrupt. Director Zhuo, It's really hard to find such a male star. The price won't be low either. I think it's better to find someone with a body like mine. Haha. Zhuo Meiyan glanced at Guo Chuanjiang. Find you? How many people are you trying to disgust when you take off your clothes? Her sarcasm was really merciless. However, after Zhuo Meiyan finished speaking, her gaze immediately landed on Su Yun. Su Yun suddenly felt a sense of uneasiness all over his body, and all his hair stood on end. This was an ominous feeling. Haha, if you're talking about a muscular man with a perfect body, then we actually have one here. Zhuo Meiyan's lips curved up as she stared at Su Yun. He's doing a commercial for his godfather's old connections. He's probably too embarrassed to ask Sky Entertainment for money, right? After she said this, Ling Jiling and Guo Chuanjiang's eyes immediately turned to Su Yun. Su Yun suddenly felt like he had fallen into a trap. Zhuo Meiyan, don't joke around. I'm neither an actor nor a model. How would I know how to do a commercial? Are you kidding me? Chapter 225. Ling Jiling stared at Su Yun with her eyes wide open. Su Yun was Zhang Taisui's godson, which meant that he was the closest person to Zhang Taisui, who had no wife or children. In other words, he was the heir of Sky Entertainment Group, but everything was handled by Zhuo Meiyan. But this guy had just asked her for an autographed underwear, and now she wanted him to shoot an underwear commercial with her. Moreover, it was a slightly risque one. God was playing a joke on her. Hey, don't joke around. I really can't do this. Su Yun suddenly realized that Zhuo Meiyan was serious. Of course, he had to try his best to get rid of her. If Guogua saw this commercial, Guogua would definitely ask him for advertising fees. Ling Jiling looked at Su Yun's flustered expression. She was sure that he wasn't a frivolous person. If Guo Chuanjiang was the one doing this, he wouldn't just refuse. Guo Chuanjiang would happily drag her to a rehearsal, right? I'm not joking. Zhuo Meiyan smiled. I know your figure very well. If we put it on the screen, it will definitely make all the women who are watching the advertisement notice the underwear. They will also realize that wearing this kind of underwear can attract people like you and satisfy their fantasies. This advertisement can be said to be perfect. I can guarantee that the other side will be 100% satisfied with the role we chose. Although you don't have Leonardo's fame, the effect will definitely be better than his. Ling Jiling suddenly nodded. President Zhua is right. I have no objections. As long as Mr. Su is willing, I have no objections at all. When and where to shoot, you can inform me at any time. I will postpone everything until after the commercial. Okay. Since that's the case, I will immediately reply to them. Zhuo Meiyan said. Although this commercial is purely for friendship, and we won't earn any money, I believe that your international fame will be further recognized. Our secondary goal is to establish relationships, and international relationships at that. Welsna's women's underwear is the biggest luxury brand in the world. We all know the identity of the boss. If Sky Entertainment really wants to turn itself into the Hollywood of the East, then we must have strong international relations. We can't abandon the foundation laid by the old man. You're right, President Zhua. Ling Jiling nodded. She knew that her identity could not only appear in the Asian entertainment industry. She wanted to become an international Ling, so some sacrifices were necessary. Su Yun finally couldn't hold it in any longer. Hey, just because you said it's settled, did you ask for my opinion? I didn't say that I agreed, so why are you acting on your own? Even if the old man is still here, he should ask for my opinion. How can he just decide on it like that? He's not taking me seriously, is he? Zhuo Meiyan glanced at Su Yun. Su Yun, I've helped you a lot with the Tang family. If you don't even help me with this small matter, then you're burning the bridge after crossing the river. You're getting rid of the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. You were the one who wanted to help. I didn't force you. Su Yun, don't make it sound so serious. You make it sound like I'm heartless. I'm not that kind of person. Ling Jiling smiled. Mr. Su, if you're willing to work with me, then I'm willing to agree to your request. Su Yun perked up when he heard this. Really? You won't go back on your word, right? You're not playing with me, right? I swear. Ling Jiling raised two fingers and pointed to the sky. Then it's settled. Isn't it just an advertisement? What's the big deal? You want to take off your clothes to show off your muscles? Sure, no problem. As long as you can give me a leaf to block my brother, anything is negotiable. Su Yun agreed readily without the slightest hesitation. In order to get the old man's wish of getting Sister Jiling's underwear, Su Yun was willing to give it his all. Zhuo Meiyan's eyes widened. She looked at Ling Jiling and then at Su Yun. What request did you make? Su Yun, let me tell you, this is Sky Entertainment. It's your godfather's blood, sweat, and tears. If you dare to mess around in Sky Entertainment, the old man might come out of the underworld to find you. F***ck. Don't make it sound so scary. Su Yun felt a chill run down his spine. Am I that kind of person? I just want a souvenir from Sister Jiling, and I'm asking for it for my brother. If you want to talk about the underworld, I think you should educate old Guo more. As he spoke, Su Yun looked at Guo Chuanjiang. Mr. Guo, did you hear that? The old man might come out of the underworld to find you. Guo Chuanjiang's hair stood on end when he heard Su Yun's tone. What the hell? Why did he have to say it in such a scary way? He had done so many unspoken rules before. If the old man really didn't like it, wouldn't he just come up and take him down with a life-threatening rope? Zhuo Meiyan glared at Guo Chuanjiang. The entire Sky Entertainment knew this, so she didn't bother to scold him. Mr. Zhuo, if that's the case, then I'll leave first. Ling Jiling stood up. Everyone here was a boss, so she felt it wasn't appropriate for her to stay here. Okay, then you should prepare. If you have anything to do in the next few days, push it back. Tell your manager that the current schedule is full. Zhuo Meiyan said. This is very important to both you and Sky Entertainment, so you can't delay it. Don't worry, Mr. Zhuo. Ling Jiling stood up and said goodbye. I'll leave first. You guys have a good chat. Zhuo Meiyan nodded. Guo Chuanjiang stood up reluctantly. Jiling, you're leaving already? Aren't you going to stay for a while? Do you really want the old man to come out of the underworld to find you? Zhuo Meiyan's words made Guo Chuanjiang shut up and sit down. Ling Jiling also quickly left the office. After she came out, she let out a sigh of relief. Seeing Ling Jiling leave, Guo Chuanjiang hurriedly took out some documents from his bag and handed them to Zhuo Meiyan. Mr. Zhuo, this is the preliminary design plan for Sky Entertainment Movie Plaza. We'll definitely try our best to get the land on Qingdao. As long as we get that land, Sky Entertainment Movie Plaza can immediately start construction. Within 3 years, we'll create a real Hollywood. I've already thought about it. When the time comes, I'll bring all the A-listers in the world to kowtow to the old man. Zhuo Meiyan ignored Guo Chuanjiang's whimsical thoughts. But this Sky Entertainment Movie Plaza had to be built. This was Zhang Taisui's last wish. No matter what, she had to fulfill the old man's last wish. Su Yun also joined in the fun. He sat down directly next to Zhuo Meiyan. Guo Chuanjiang originally thought Zhuo Meiyan would get angry. After all, this woman was so arrogant that she would get angry if anyone touched her clothes. Su Yun sitting next to her was just asking for trouble. However, Zhuo Meiyan obediently put the documents between the two of them. She didn't seem to dislike Su Yun sitting next to her at all. Guo Chuanjiang was really surprised. Could it be that Zhuo Meiyan's personality had changed so much during the few months he was on Qingdao? Zhuo Meiyan looked at the preliminary design plan very carefully. It wasn't hard to see that she was very concerned about this matter. This plan can be said to be perfect, but there are still a few imperfections. I'll personally make some changes to this plan before making a final decision. The next thing is the land on Qingdao. I want you to get it. If you can't get it, then all of this will be in vain. Guo Chuanjiang nodded and said confidently, Mr. Zhuo, don't worry. Qingdao is Jiangbei Province's territory. Who dares to fight with Sky Entertainment? If there really is, then I'll let them know how many eyes the Horse King has. You've already made a military order. If you can't get that land, then you'll have to find a way to accompany the old man in the underground. Zhuo Meiyan said it casually, but she didn't seem to be joking at all. Guo Chuanjiang's heart trembled. Guo Chuanjiang hurriedly stood up and said, Mr. Zhuo, then I'll go to Qingdao right away. I'll come back when I get that land. If I can't get it, then I'll jump into the sea. I'm telling you, even if you want to jump into the sea, you have to get it. The old man had his eyes on that place a few years ago. Its location and development are the best in all of Jiangbei province. So no matter the cost, you have to get it. Zhuo Meiyan gave a firm order. Yes. Guo Chuanjiang nodded and said, if there's nothing else, then I'll be leaving. Mr. Zhuo, wait for my good news. Go. Zhuo Meiyan waved her hand. After Guo Chuanjiang left the office, Zhuo Meiyan's expression slowly relaxed. Sky Entertainment was very busy every day. After the last-minute meeting, she had asked Zhuo Yeming to take care of the detailed work arrangements. Only then did she have the chance to go back to the office. She didn't expect Guo Chuanjiang to come back from Qingdao to report on his work after arranging work with Ling Jiling. It was already 11:30 in the morning, and only then was she able to sit alone with Su Yun for a while. I thought I could finish everything before 10. Zhuo Meiyan said helplessly. It seems that I'm still lacking compared to the old man. You must be hungry, right? Think about what to eat for lunch. We can talk while we eat. Su Yun shrugged and said, I'm fine with anything. Is there anything you like to eat? Yes. Zhuo Meiyan said without hesitation. I like your egg fried rice. Su Yun paused and said, well, I don't think there are any conditions here. There are conditions. Even if there weren't, I could still create them. It's just that it's so rare to see you. How can I let you cook? Zhuo Meiyan smiled and said, let's go. I know a very good Cantonese restaurant. They have boiled prawns, stewed worms, dragon and tiger, and 5-colored fried snake. How about that? If you don't mind, I'll ask Li Sisi to make a reservation. Su Yun nodded and said, sure. Zhuo Meiyan pressed the call button on the coffee table. Li Sisi immediately appeared at the office door and said, Mr. Zhuo. Chapter 226. Su Yun and Zhuo Meiyan took the elevator from the top floor of Sky Entertainment's building. A Cadillac DTS slowly drove up from the building's entrance. The security guard at the entrance immediately sensed that it was President Zhuo, and quickly went to open the car door. Su Yun, who was beside Zhuo Meiyan, had already thoroughly convinced the entire security team. Not to mention the fact that he was able to kill Tiger Meng in one move. The fact that he was able to stand beside President Zhuo without any pressure and look so at ease showed that he wasn't an ordinary person. Yo, your rank is pretty high. You're on the same level as the President of the United States. Su Yun smiled slightly after seeing the car. Back in the day, Zhang Taisui only loved this brand of car. It wasn't that expensive, but the car culture was very old. Zhuo Meiyan smiled sweetly. I can't compare to Brother Bama. His car is a super-modified Army No. 1. Mine is nothing. Actually, I also like Ferrari, but I don't have time to drive it. President Zhuo, please. The car door opened and the security guard immediately retreated to the side. Just as Zhuo Meiyan was about to get in, Su Yun shook his head. I'm not used to having someone as a driver. Forget it, I'm just a driver. You can tell the driver to take a break at noon. I'll take you there and send you back after lunch. Also, my car parked in front of Sky Entertainment's entrance is a bit of a bummer. Zhuo Meiyan couldn't help but roll her eyes after seeing the Volkswagen. I think I really need to talk to Sister Feng. I can't spoil you like this anymore. It's fine if it's your own car. Everyone knows that this car is Tang Jiu's personal vehicle. But you're openly parking it in front of Sky Entertainment's entrance. Aren't you giving the Tang Corporation too much face? Okay, I was wrong. Su Yun said and went to get the car. Zhuo Meiyan waved her hand to signal her driver to go rest. Then she followed Su Yun into the Volkswagen. Everyone was shocked. Who would have thought that President Zhuo would sit in such a small car? Su Yun stepped on the accelerator and left Sky Entertainment's building. Everyone in Sky Entertainment would remember his face. A while after they left, an old security guard slapped his thigh in realization and exclaimed, "No wonder. So it's him." At this moment, everyone who was filled with curiosity gathered around. Everyone wanted to know the background of this young man, who could make directors submit to him. The Cantonese restaurant that Zhuo Meiyan had chosen wasn't too far from Sky Entertainment Corporation. It was luxuriously decorated and could be considered extravagant. A waiter led the two of them to a private room on the second floor and started brewing a pot of Westlake Longjing tea. Su Yun noticed that even the drinking cups were made of crystal. The ends of the chopsticks were inlaid with jade. Su Yun was beginning to wonder if they were real. Otherwise, if everyone who came to eat took a chopstick, the restaurant would suffer huge losses. When he told Zhuo Meiyan of his thoughts, Zhuo Meiyan smiled disapprovingly. This kind of jade is at most $6,000 per piece. Anyone who cares about such a worthless thing wouldn't come here to spend money. What you mean is that the average cost here is more than 6,000 yuan. Su Yun raised his eyebrows. Are there that many stupid rich people who come here to eat? Of course, Zhuo Meiyan said. I'm one of those people. Su Yun was speechless. If it were him, no matter how rich he was, he wouldn't come to this kind of place to eat. He also ate pig trotters, but the price of pig trotters here was comparable to dragon claws. Take the heavenly 9 wings for example. One serving cost more than 10,000 yuan. It was clearly a black market, but there were still people willing to come here and be ripped off. In Huaxia, there were plenty of stupid rich people, but Su Yun didn't expect Zhuo Meiyan to be one of them. As they were talking, the owner of the restaurant appeared in their private room. When he saw Zhuo Meiyan, he immediately smiled. Miss Zhuo, is it still the same? Yes, it's still the same. Zhuo Meiyan smiled. It was as if she was used to it. Wait. Su Yun stretched out her hand and said, I'm not used to eating in such a dark place. Why don't we go somewhere else? Su Yun felt a little uncomfortable looking at Zhuo Meiyan's expression of being used to eating here. Zhuo Meiyan couldn't help but laugh. Aren't you being too serious? I'm not stupid. If we have to pay to eat here, then you're looking down on Sky Entertainment Corporation. Su Yun was stunned. You don't have to pay? Oh sir, if it weren't for Sky Entertainment Corporation and Old Master Zhang, I wouldn't be here today. The restaurant owner said. If I charge Miss Zhuo for a meal here, I won't have the face to see Old Master Zhang in the afterlife in a few decades. Su Yun relaxed. It seemed that his godfather had a lot of face. If he didn't have to pay, then he could eat freely. Well, don't be the same as before. Give me 4 of your most expensive dishes. That should be enough. Listen to him. Zhuo Meiyan didn't wait for the restaurant owner to ask her. Okay. After the restaurant owner left, Su Yun didn't hold back. He makes so much money in a day. Of course I have to eat his most expensive dishes. Otherwise I'll be letting down Old Master Zhang. Zhuo Meiyan knew that he was this kind of person. Otherwise he wouldn't have asked her assistant to make him Wui de Hong Pao. Tell me, why did you come to see me today? How can you not know that I came to see you? If you didn't know, then why did you arrange for Luosha to wait at the Tang Corporation? Su Yun smiled. Zhuo Meiyan, I'll remember your help. I thank you, and I thank you on behalf of the Tang Corporation. You still have to thank me. Zhuo Meiyan scolded. Then how should I thank you? If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be where I am today. Even if I were to give myself to you, I'd still feel guilty. Su Yun laughed. Forget about giving yourself to me, haha. Am I that unattractive to you? Su Yun, tell me, how am I not as good as that little girl from the Tang family? If you want charm, I have charm. If you want temperament, I also have temperament. If you want to conquer a man, I don't think I'm any worse than that little girl, right? Zhuo Meiyan snorted. Are you saying that little girl's skills in bed are so good that you don't want to try anyone else? Su Yun smiled bitterly. What are you talking about? I help Tangjiu because we have a good relationship. I really haven't experienced any skills in bed. Please forgive me. Zhuo Meiyan's face lit up. Haven't experienced? Don't tell me there's really nothing between you and that little girl from the Tang family. Su Yun, if you said that 3 years ago, I would have believed you. But now that you've left that lousy army, you're no longer bound by discipline. There's no way you're still chaste, right? This is called a good tradition, a good habit. Su Yun was really afraid to talk about this topic with Zhuo Meiyan. He would be asking for trouble if he talked about this with this seductress. Zhuo Meiyan snorted. I really suspect that your lousy army was filled with a bunch of gays. They've influenced you to the point where you can't even find pleasure in a woman. Although it was a private room, there was still a waitress. Su Yun really lost to Zhuo Meiyan. Can we not talk about this openly? Sure, but you have to tell me, Did you listen to your grandfather before he passed away? Zhou Meiyan asked aggressively. Su Yun was really complaining. Can we not talk about this? I'm here today to thank you. No, you have to talk about it, Zhou Meiyan said seriously. Zhou Meiyan said sternly. Previously, when the old man asked you to inherit his businesses, you said that you were serving the country and didn't have time to take care of your family. Now, don't think that I don't know that you've already left the army. Now that the country has abandoned you, you should have enough time to take care of your family, right? When will you take over Sky Entertainment Group? You have to answer my question today. Sigh. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He didn't know about these things in the entertainment industry. He never thought that Zhang Taisui would leave Sky Entertainment Group to him before he passed away. The old man's brain must have been flooded with water. At the time, Su Yun refused because he didn't know. That was why Zhou Meiyan had been running Sky Entertainment Group alone. Now that she finally found Su Yun, of course she had to get to the bottom of this matter. Aren't you running Sky Entertainment well? Why did you have to give it to me? I don't understand the entertainment industry. I don't like it, and I don't have the ambition to create a Hollywood. Sky Entertainment can still grow in your hands, but it's ruined in my hands. Su Yun. You still don't understand? The old man must have been out of his mind. Otherwise, he wouldn't have said something like giving Sky Entertainment to me. Su Yun, I can help you run Sky Entertainment Group, but you have to give me an identity, Zhou Meiyan said. If I were an outsider, the old man would never be able to rest in peace. Su Yun coughed violently. You're an outsider? Please, the old man didn't have a single disciple in his life. He only took you and Zui Yeming in. Before he died, he passed on his skills to the two of you. You're an outsider? Then who's more of an outsider? You, Zhou Meiyan said. At this time, the dishes were already served. Among them was the heavenly 9 wings that Su Yun saw. Su Yun sighed. It's been hard on me. No one's been hard on you. As long as you give me an identity, I can help you run Sky Entertainment Group as your wife. This way, I won't feel sorry for the old man at all. Zhou Meiyan said it very casually. She didn't feel any pressure at all. Su Yun felt a lot of pressure. He never thought of marrying Zhou Meiyan. This woman's aura was so strong that no man could withstand it. Was this a joke? Damn it. Zhou Meiyan looked at Su Yun's face, which looked like he had choked on pig liver. She shook her head helplessly. Forget it, forget it. I won't talk to you anymore. Let's eat first. I knew you'd look like that when you talk about this. You really ruin my mood. Su Yun hurriedly changed the topic. Come, let's eat. Let me see what this shark fin that costs more than 10,000 yuan tastes like. I don't taste like shark. Why is it so expensive? Chapter 227. Su Yun felt like he was sitting on pins and needles throughout the meal. He was worried that Zhou Meiyan would bring up the matter of taking over Sky Entertainment again. He was even more worried that she would act out a crazy story of forcing him to marry her. However, Zhou Meiyan was unusually quiet. She only spoke to Su Yun after she was full. I'm much more mature than I was 3 years ago. I'll give you time. I believe that after you've thought things through, everything will naturally develop. What will come will come. I won't force you now. You just need to cooperate with Ling Jiling and shoot the Wilsna underwear commercial well. Consider it as repayment for helping you take care of the Tang family. Su Yun had been waiting for these words. As long as Zhou Meiyan asked him to do something, he would more or less know what to do. It was much better than her not saying anything. He had to shoot this commercial. Whether it was to repay Zhou Meiyan's favor or to help old Topple get Sister Jiling's signed underwear, this was something he had to do. He only hoped that the scale of this commercial would be bigger. If it was bigger, then Huaxia would ban it. That way, he wouldn't have to worry about Ruan Qingshuang and Guogua seeing it. He was really acting like a thief. Of course, he had to tell old Topple about this commercial. Only then would he believe the signed underwear he sent over without a doubt. This would also prove that it wasn't a fake. It was 100% authentic. You can contact me at any time about the commercial. I'll definitely get it done. Su Yun patted his chest. Tell me a day in advance so that I have time to prepare. Zhou Meiyan thought for a moment. Why don't I tell you now? It's about a week from now. Wilsna Underwear's flagship store is in Suong. It will open in about a week. They said that they wanted to shoot a shot of the flagship store, so they definitely have to go to Suong. Shoot in Suong. Soo-yun was really stunned. He didn't say that he was going to Suong before. Now that he had promised Swa Meiyan and Ling Jiling, he was telling her that he was going to Suong for the shoot. This was too sudden. One had to know that Su Hang was now Green Ghost territory. Although that grandson didn't have any first-rate experts under him. What if the Netherworld King really sent him a few super experts? Wouldn't that be like sticking his face to a hornet's nest? Seeing the change in Soo-yun's expression, Swa Meiyan was slightly startled. What, is there a problem? No. Soo-yun smiled and quickly concealed the unnatural look on his face. He didn't want to trouble Swa Meiyan with his own affairs. After all, Sky Entertainment Group was so big that Swa Meiyan was already busy enough. She didn't have the time to get involved with him. There was no need for her to get involved. If the opponent was just Green Ghost, it wasn't a big deal. However, if it involved someone stronger, Soo-yun really didn't want to involve too many people. If he really couldn't match up to them, it would be fine if he was the only one who lost. However, if it involved other people, it wouldn't be worth it. Swa Meiyan stared at Soo-yun. She felt that something was wrong. However, since Soo-yun wasn't willing to say anything, she knew that she wouldn't be able to get anything out of him. Since that was the case, she gave up on asking and didn't continue this topic. Then let's go. Send me back. I have a meeting in the afternoon. Since I've found you, you don't have to hide anymore. I won't force you to take over Sky Entertainment, and I won't force you to do anything that you find difficult. You'll be willing to keep in touch with me, right? Soo-yun laughed foolishly. Look at what you're saying. When have I ever hidden from you? Haven't I always been busy? Long live understanding. Swa Meiyan didn't lower herself to his level. The two left the Cantonese restaurant and went straight to Sky Entertainment Group. After sending Swa Meiyan to Sky Entertainment Group, Soo-yun's mission was complete. Now he had a headache about going to Suong to shoot the commercial. It was really troublesome. He could only try to keep a low profile. Anyway, the commercial was going to be shot quickly. It would only take a few days. After returning to Tang Group, Soo-yun learned from the receptionist that Tang Jiu had gone to the Tang family's medical equipment factory to inspect work. It seemed that the person in charge there was going to go on strike. Since Rakshasa was following him, Soo-yun drove back to Tang Jiu's house without worry. He had nothing to do anyway. When he thought about having Swa Meiyan's people follow him all the time, Soo-yun felt that it wasn't right. However, he didn't have anyone to rely on now. He could only trouble Wang Zhe for a few days. Just as Soo-yun arrived at the Tang family's villa, a figure stood up at the side door. Soo-yun was slightly surprised. This guy hadn't left Jibei City. Boss Yun, you're back. My brother is much better these days. He doesn't need me to take care of him anymore. That's why I came back from the hospital. I've been waiting for you here. Zhang Wenning came to Soo-yun's car window and said seriously. The green birthmark on his face gave people goosebumps. Soo-yun opened the electric gate and drove the car into the Tang family's courtyard. Zhang Wenning followed closely behind. At this time, Soo-yun also got out of the car and said calmly, I hit him a little too hard that night. Is he all right now? Of course he's fine. He's been able to take a beating since he was young. I know this better than anyone. I often break his bones. He's recovered faster than others since he was young. He can be discharged in at most 20 days. When Zhang Wenning said this, he didn't feel guilty at all. It was as if Ghostface Azura wasn't his brother. Soo-yun smiled helplessly. This green-faced beast was really straightforward. In that case, he wouldn't beat around the bush. Didn't you say that you wanted to follow me? I didn't agree that day. But now I've changed my mind. Zhang Wenning's face instantly changed into a different person. It was unknown how many times brighter it was. He came here with the mentality of being rejected. He was prepared to stick his warm face to a cold butt. He didn't expect that before he even mentioned this matter, Soo-yun would directly take them in. Of course, this feeling was instantaneous. It was as if the originally dark sky had suddenly lit up. There were no more dark clouds. Really? Boss Yun, you're really willing to accept me and my brother? Zhang Wenning even suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. Su Yun nodded. That's not a problem. But you have to listen to my arrangements. Also, don't call me Boss Yun. Isn't that old-fashioned? Why don't you just call me Su Yun? That way, I'll feel more comfortable hearing it. Then I'll call you Brother Yin. Zhang Wenning was obviously older than Su Yun. However, he still couldn't call out the two words Su Yun. The pressure was too great. Moreover, Su Yun was the benefactor who seriously injured Red Scorpion and gave the two brothers a chance to take revenge. He definitely couldn't call him by his name. Up to you. Su Yun was used to hearing this form of address. If Ghostface Azura doesn't need your care now, then I'll have to ask you to take care of Tangjio during this period of time. The mission is very simple. It's to ensure her safety. For 24 hours, you have to be careful of anyone she comes into contact with in the company. When she returns home, you can't let any strangers enter within half a meter of this villa. Green-faced beast, I know your strength, so I believe you can do it. Zhang Wenning immediately nodded and agreed. I promise to complete the mission. However, Brother Yin, where are you going? I'm going to Swang to take care of something, Su Yun said. Otherwise, I wouldn't have troubled you to help me protect Tangjio. Go to Swang. Zhang Wenning's expression changed. Brother Yin, Swang is Green Ghost territory now. I'm afraid it's not safe for you to go there at this time. No, I want to go to Swang with you. You'll definitely need help there. Su Yun waved his hand. Hey, I've said it before. If you want to follow me, then listen to my arrangements. If I want you to stay in the Tang family to protect Tangjio, then stay in the Tang family to protect Tangjio. If you don't want to do it, then do as you wish. I'll treat it as if I've never seen you or don't know you. I won't make things difficult for you. Hearing Su Yun's words, Zhang Wenning could only stop insisting. Brother Yin, I'll listen to you. I'll stay in the Tang family. But you have to be careful. Green Ghost isn't someone easy to deal with. I didn't say I was going to find trouble with that guy. I have something else to take care of in Swang, Su Yun said impatiently. All right, before I leave, hurry up and go to the hospital to find a nurse for your brother. Don't let no one take care of him when you're not around. If he really starves to death in the hospital, I won't care. Zhang Wenning laughed dryly. He can get up on his own. He definitely won't starve to death. Brother Yin, if there's a chance to get rid of Green Ghost, I really want to help you. I know very well who the mastermind behind the destruction of our family is. Although I've killed Red Scorpion with my own hands, Green Ghost can't be forgiven. Let's talk about this when you really have the strength to fight against Green Ghost. Even if I want to take action against him now, you can only be cannon fodder. Su Yun said. I don't have the habit of pushing my own people into the fire pit. Thank you, Brother Yin, for thinking so highly of me. Zhang Wenning cupped his fists. At this time, a black Mercedes-Benz slowly drove over. Before the car stopped, Tangjio ran out of the car and hurriedly walked towards Su Yun. Why are you home? Su Yun was slightly startled. Shouldn't I be the one asking you that? At the same time, Wang Zhe also walked out of the car. It seemed that he had fully completed the task given to him by Zhua Meiyan. I felt a little uncomfortable when I was at the medical equipment factory, so I wanted to go home and rest. Tangjio covered her lower abdomen and said, I'll tell you later. I'm going to take a painkiller first. Tangjio said and rushed into the room. Wang Zhe, who had been following Tangjio, smiled. Since Miss Jiao is safely home, I'll go first. Thank you. Su Yun smiled. You're welcome. Wang Zhe turned and left. The driver of the Mercedes-Benz also rolled down the window and said, Mr. Su, should I wait for Miss Jiao here or? No need. I don't think her condition is very good. Don't go back to the company today. You go back first. After Su Yun finished speaking, the driver returned to the company as arranged. Give me your phone. I'll call you when I need you, Su Yun said to Zhang Wenning. Chapter 228. Su Yun followed Tangjio into the room. He saw Tangjio pour herself a cup of hot water and take a few sips. Then she took out a painkiller from the medical kit. Judging by the sweat on her forehead, She must be in unbearable pain. But just as Tangjio took out 2 painkillers and was about to stuff them into his mouth, Suyun stepped forward and stopped him. You can't take painkillers carelessly. All medicines are poisonous. If you take too much of them, you'll develop a sense of dependence on them, and they'll also cause damage to your kidneys and stomach. Taking too much of it will also cause diarrhea, vomiting, twitching limbs, and mental abnormalities. But I really don't want to take it anymore. Tangjio insisted on taking the painkillers. Her left hand pressed hard on her lower abdomen. The pain on her face was unimaginable. It seemed that she had been holding on for a long time and couldn't hold on any longer. Suyun frowned. Is your period here? Tangjio blushed and glared at Suyun. What does it have to do with you? You're a man. Why are you asking about a girl's affairs? Stop being so nosy. Tangjio, if you really want to take painkillers because of this pain, then I can't let you take them. Whether it's primary or secondary dysmenorrhea, you can't treat it blindly. Blindly taking drugs will cover up the condition. Suyun's expression became serious. He directly took the pills from Tangjio's hand. Although I don't want you to have any malignant lesions, I still want to confirm it. As he spoke, Suyun had already placed 2 fingers on Tangjio's pulse. His expression also became calm as he wholeheartedly immersed himself in taking the pulse. Just now, Suyun had already confirmed from Tangjio's complexion that it was definitely due to the blockage of the Sanyin junction. The lack of blood and qi in the womb had led to some physiological abnormalities, which triggered the nerves of pain. Although Chinese medicine emphasized looking, listening, questioning, and feeling the pulse, looking alone couldn't determine the cause of the illness. Speaking of listening, Tangjio's voice had been cold since this morning, so Suyun could basically determine what was wrong with Tangjio. He knew that he wouldn't get a reply even if he asked, so he might as well make his own decision and ask directly. If you can really help me, then give me a prescription. Tangjio saw how serious Suyun was, and he understood that Suyun was being responsible and concerned for him. Since last month, this is the 2nd time I've experienced unbearable pain, and each time it happened in the first few days. After taking her pulse, Suyun made a preliminary judgment. Tangjio was suffering from dysmenorrhea. There were no malignant lesions in her body. Perhaps it was because of the recent events in the Tang family that caused her to lose control of her daily routine, causing her to feel uncomfortable. The prescription treats the symptoms but not the root cause. The most important thing is to recuperate. Now that the Tang family's matters have been settled, you still have to restore your daily habits as soon as possible. The most important thing is to eat less cold food and massage your meridians frequently. It's very effective. After saying that, Suyun rolled up his sleeves and placed Tangjio's calf on his knee. He then rolled up his pants and used his left thumb to press on the inner side of Tangjio's calf, 3 inches above the tip of the ankle, behind the inner edge of the tibia. The Sanyinjio acupoint has the effect of connecting the heart and kidney and guiding fire down. Massage until you feel sore and swollen. Tangjio wanted to struggle at first, but after Suyun's massage, she really felt that the heart-wrenching pain from before was alleviated a lot. Tangjio was shocked. Suyun, are you a gynecologist? Although I'm not a gynecologist, other than delivering babies, I can probably treat all kinds of minor illnesses. Suyun was really shameless. Let alone this minor dysmenorrhea of yours, even if it's something else, I can treat it. Tangjio glared at him. Keep bragging. As they spoke, Suyun had already massaged Tangjio's calf. Then he took off her shoes and socks. The point between the big toe and the second toe is called the Taichung acupoint. Just massage it the same way as before. Soon, Suyun helped Tangjio unblock all 4 acupoints on her body. The other 2 were the uterus acupoint on her lower abdomen and the Shuahai acupoint on her inner thigh. After massaging all the acupoints, Tangjio's face was flushed. However, thinking that Suyun had the heart of a doctor, she couldn't blame him. In the future, if you have nothing to do, you should massage yourself more, especially when your period comes. Suyun only needed to look at Tangjio's face to see that her pain had been alleviated a lot. It shouldn't be a big problem. Tangjio rolled her eyes. It's none of your business. Don't worry about it. By the way, When I went to the medical equipment factory today, Wang Zhe helped me teach the person in charge of the strike a lesson. He was too heavy-handed. I'm a little worried that something bad might happen. Su Yin touched his chin. It shouldn't happen. According to Wang Zhe's ability, it was definitely possible for him to control his strength. At most, it would make the other party miserable, but it definitely wouldn't take their lives. In the afternoon, Tang Jiu wanted to go back to the company, but was stopped by Su Yin. With Tang Jiu's current physical condition, the best choice was to rest at home. The matters of the Tang group couldn't be settled in a day or two. It could be said that haste makes waste. After persuading Tang Jiu to go to bed to rest, Su Yin received a very unexpected phone call. If he remembered correctly, when he left the Dragon Brigade and the Dragon Fury team, his master Wang Yi had told him that if there wasn't anything important, he wouldn't contact him. Now that he saw this familiar yet unfamiliar phone number, Su Yin was more or less shocked. Could it be that he was being summoned back to the team? Obviously, Su Yin didn't believe that it was possible. He anxiously went to a quiet room and picked up the phone. Old man Wang Yi, did something big happen? The person on the other side of the phone was the person who taught Su Yin his abilities, the Lieutenant General of the Dragon Brigade, and also the Vice Captain of the Dragon Brigade, Wang Yi. Su Yin directly called him by his name. This was definitely unprecedented in the entire Dragon Fury team, and even the entire Dragon Brigade. Wang Yi didn't get angry when he heard him call him that. Perhaps it was because he hadn't heard such a warm name in a long time, so he was a little touched. Brat, you're still so talkative. Hehe, if I don't contact you, you really won't contact me. It seems like you're living quite a carefree life outside. I heard from that little rascal Azure Dragon that you have good luck with women. Su Yin chuckled. That's for sure. Who do you think we are? We're the team hunk of the mystical Dragon Brigade, loved by everyone. If we don't have any luck with women, wouldn't we be embarrassing ourselves? Don't talk nonsense with me. I'm warning you. You can owe anything, but a woman's love debt. It's not that easy to repay. Wang Yi smiled slightly. I'm very confident that you can handle these relationships. Su Yin smiled bitterly. If he didn't have that little bit of self-control, he probably would have owed a lot of women a long time ago. Sigh, after thinking about it, it was indeed easier to survive in the Dragon Fury team. They were all men, so the most he owed was the gaze. That's not right. It seemed that there were already women in the Dragon Fury team now. Old man, if you have something to say, just say it. Su Yin went straight to the point. Although I'm no longer a member of Dragon Fury, if Dragon Fury is in trouble, I, Yin Long, will be the first to be unwilling. Wang Yi liked true men like Su Yin who were affectionate and righteous. Yin Long, Dragon Fury isn't in trouble, but I'm afraid you're in trouble. I've been holding back from calling you, but now I can't help it anymore. Don't think that this old man is annoying. Although I've always trusted you, I have to remind you now that it's best if you don't interfere in Su Hong's matters. You've heard about Green Ghost submitting to the Netherworld King, right? We don't want to make things worse. Since Green Ghost can already guarantee the stability and balance of Su Hong's underground world, I hope you don't cause more trouble. Now that everyone in Dragon Fury has evacuated from Suang, Azure Dragon and Yin Long are going on a new mission. I hope you don't be rash. Su Yin smiled. Old man, do you think I'm still the 18-year-old Su Yin? Hehe, I know what I should do and what I shouldn't do. However, I won't agree to let you off the hook for Suang. I have my principles. You should know them. I know that you will definitely seek justice for your brother after the Black Dragon was seriously injured in Suang. However, let me tell you now that he has started to recover gradually, Wang Yi said. I really don't want you to get into big trouble. Let's put the matter of the Black Dragon aside for now. I'll seek justice for him in the future. The Black Dragon is my brother. I'll seek justice for him. Other than the Black Dragon, I want to have a good chat with Green Ghost about my goddaughter's justice. Su Yin said calmly. Actually, I really don't want to endure the hatred of the previous night. You should be relieved that I can endure it until now. Old man, I know my ability. I also understand that some things can't be rushed. It's good that you know. Wang Yi smiled. I can't arrange for anyone to help you now. You have to be careful. Su Yin was stunned. Old man Wang Yi, where did you arrange for the Dragon Fury people? Is there no one? Did something big happen? Wang Yi nodded. Something troublesome did happen. Now they are all led by Shadow Dragon to the border between Eastern Europe and Western Asia. Because a war broke out there not long ago, terrorists took the opportunity to use bacterial weapons, so it seems that many innocent people were hurt. We sent a rescue team at the request of the world government. The pharmacists of the Dragon Brigade were the first to arrive at the scene, hoping to stop the spread of the bacteria. But there seems to be a problem. Now Shadow Dragon is leading the Dragon Fury team there to solve the problem. Su Yin was stunned. Old man, you mean there's a problem with the pharmacists? Yes. We've lost contact with them now. Wang Yi had a headache when he said this. They were all rare talents in the Dragon Brigade. Cultivating a qualified pharmacist was more difficult than cultivating a qualified warrior. This was why Su Yin could be so popular in the Dragon Brigade. He was a genius who was both a pharmacist and a warrior. Su Yin heard this news and his mind buzzed. What about you, Marin? Did she go to the scene too? Chapter 229. After hanging up the call with Wang Yi, Su Yin felt as if his soul had left his body. He really wanted to know what happened at the border between Eastern Europe and Western Asia. Bacteriological weapons were banned by the world government, but even so, there were still terrorists who would do everything they could to create and use them. This kind of weapon originated from Japan, so the trouble there was definitely related to Japan. But now Su Yin was powerless. He couldn't participate in the battle. He was worried about the Dragon Brigade's pharmacists. He was worried about Yu Marin, who he had lost contact with. If anything happened to her, Su Yin definitely wouldn't forgive the person who arranged for her to go to that place. Even if that person was Wang Yi, he still wouldn't forgive him. Damn it. Su Yin could only place all his hopes on Shadow Dragon and his brothers in the Dragon Fury team. Su Yin believed that they definitely knew how he felt right now. They knew what Yu Marin meant to him and the Dragon Fury team. They definitely wouldn't let anything happen to her. Su Yin, who couldn't exert any strength, heavily punched the wall. But then he remembered what Yu Marin said to him when he left Dragon's Fury. She promised him that she would definitely protect him and never let him get hurt. Su Yin bitterly smiled. Yu Marin had always kept her promises. He believed that she would be fine. Su Yin believed that this girl who had a great impact on his life would definitely be blessed by the heavens. That old man Wang Yi really wouldn't call him if there wasn't something important. Su Yin quickly stopped worrying and quickly convinced himself of Shadow Dragon and Azure Dragon's strength. Now he still had to face the problem of Su Hong's green demon. Even Wang Yi told him not to interfere. It seemed that he had tacitly approved of the existence of Green Demon's underground force. Every place would have a powerful underground force that would be recognized. This was because once they reached a certain level of strength, they would be able to maintain the balance of the underground. This was more conducive to stability than having no leader. For example, the leader of the underground forces in Jiangbei was Zhang Taisui. Not to mention when he was alive, even now when he was no longer alive, Jiangbei was still united because of his prestige. Previously, Guoguo's grandfather was in charge of Su Hong's underground world. No one knew what had caused the change. When the underground forces of Suang were in turmoil, they definitely needed someone to stand up and protect them. However, when this turmoil was quelled by someone, it would become an existence that was tacitly approved. There was no need for anyone to protect them because this person who could quell the turmoil definitely had the ability to protect them. Su Yin didn't expect Green Ghost, who had the help of the Nether King, to settle the situation in Suang so quickly. If he wanted to touch him again, he would have to cut the Gordian knot. Acting rashly or stalling for time wouldn't do him any good. Now that the Tang family in northern Ji had the green-faced beast and the ghost-faced Azura helping Tang Jiu, and Zhuo Meiyan pressuring the outside forces to a certain extent, Tang Jiu shouldn't be in too much trouble. It seemed that he really did need to deal with Suang. Just as Su Yin was seriously thinking about this, he suddenly received a message from Zhuo Meiyan. It was a very simple message. The day after tomorrow, 8 o'clock in front of Sky Entertainment Group. I will arrange a car to send you to Suang. What the hell? It can't be that fast, right? Su Yun's head felt like it was being punched. Didn't she say a week? That way he would have time to help Tang Jiu with the Tang family's business. He would also have time to go back to Hudong City to see his precious daughter and Ruan Shuang. Now, she suddenly said that she was leaving the day after tomorrow. This was too sudden. He didn't even have time to prepare. He didn't know if Zhou Meiyan could read Su Yun's mind, but she actually sent another message. You said that you would give me a day's notice. This isn't a surprise attack. F***ck. This isn't a surprise attack. Su Yun was completely speechless. Since he had promised her, he had to keep his word. Keeping his word was the most basic principle of a man. Su Yun simply replied with one word. Okay. A minute later, Zhou Meiyan's message came again. This time it was a long message. Can't you say anything more? For example, I'll definitely do what I promised you, and I won't let you down. Or you'll miss me when you go to Swang, or I'm leaving soon. Can I treat you to a candlelight dinner? All you said was sure. That's not romantic at all. Looking at Zhou Meiyan's long speech, Su Yun was speechless. You can reply so many times with just one word. If I say anything more, I'm afraid you'll directly call me and ask me to marry you. Tang Jiu fell asleep very quickly. It seemed that physical and mental exhaustion was good for a deep sleep. Su Yun was leaving the day after tomorrow. He felt sorry for Tang Jiu. After all, she was a girl who had to deal with so many things. Su Yun decided to prepare a feast for her before he left. He was afraid that after he left, Tang Jiu would have to make do with her meals again. The food that Su Yun prepared for the entire afternoon was definitely not ordinary. When Tang Jiu woke up, she smelled the aroma in the room. She couldn't help but run out. As expected, there were already many dishes on the table. You're awake. Do you feel better now? Go wash up. I made a few dishes. Do you want to try them? Su Yun smiled and said to Tang Jiu. At first, Tang Jiu was quite excited. But later, he felt that it was like giving a prisoner a big meal before he was sent to the execution platform. Something was definitely going to happen. You've made so much delicious food. Are you leaving? It was said that a woman's sixth sense was very sharp. It seemed that it was true. Su Yun didn't deny it. Yes, I am going to Swang. With Zhou Meiyan? Tang Jiu frowned. She didn't know why, but she felt that this matter had something to do with Zhou Meiyan. Su Yun shrugged. This matter really has something to do with her. But I don't think she has the time to go. She did me a favor, so of course I have to return the favor and help her with something. Also, I have to do something of my own. Kill two birds with one stone. Tang Jiu sat at the table and didn't stand on ceremony. She was really hungry after sleeping for the entire afternoon. She started eating. Do something for her? Don't tell me she wants you to commit murder and arson? Su Yun, you can't do things that violate the law. The gains won't make up for the losses. Su Yun snorted. If it's really murder and arson, it's easy. Don't think so much. It's nothing. Also, I do have something to do in Swang. It's just on the way. It's your freedom to go wherever you want. You don't have to ask for leave from me, and you don't have to make so much food to express your apology. The Tang family has always owed you. If you treat me like this, I don't know what to do. Although Tang Jiu said it generously, Su Yun could still hear her unwillingness. This was inevitable. No woman would be willing to share the man she liked to do things for another woman, right? And that so-called other woman was interested in this man. No, maybe there was. For example, Ruan Shuang. She was a special case. Don't worry too much about the Tang family. Take it slow. I believe everything will get better. Su Yun finished cooking the last dish and put it on the table. I'll let Zhang Wenning stay in Jibei to be responsible for your safety. I believe that with his ability, he can protect you. Your uncles and brothers know that he's by your side to protect you, so they won't have any other thoughts. Tang Jiu nodded silently. She wanted to say that no one else by her side could give her a special sense of security as Su Yun by her side. However, she knew that she couldn't be so selfish. Everyone had their own things to do. She couldn't let Su Yun live for her forever. After cheering up, Tang Jiu and Su Yun ate all the delicious food within an hour. Tang Jiu didn't know if this would be the last time she ate Su Yun's cooking, so she ate very seriously. Although it was already past 7 in the evening after dinner, someone still called to say that a project's price had been made and Tang Jiu had to look at it and approve it. Although Tang Jiu wanted to chat with Su Yun, she still sat beside the computer and opened the email to carefully review the project's price list. At this time, Tang Jiu understood her responsibility and her father's hard work. However, for the Tang family, she could only grit her teeth and persevere. Su Yun saw that Tang Jiu was working at the table and didn't want to disturb her, so he walked out of the courtyard. Thinking that he would be going to Swang the day after tomorrow, he didn't have time to go to Hudong to say goodbye, so he dialed Ruan Qingshuang's number. After receiving Su Yun's call, Ruan Qingshuang seemed very excited. She said with a smile, "Su Yun, how are you in Jibei? How's Tang Jiu's matter? It must be very smooth." "Yes, it's quite smooth." Su Yun smiled. "Sister Shuang, I originally wanted to go back the day after tomorrow, but a friend asked me to do him a favor. I might be delayed for a few days, so please take care of Guogua and Cho Yun." Ruan Qingshuang was stunned. "Yes, don't worry about Guogua. I will take good care of her. As for Cho Yun, didn't she go to Jibei to look for you? Didn't the two of you meet yet?" "That's not right. She called 2 hours ago and said that she had contacted you." Su Yun's brows instantly furrowed. Cho Yun said that she went to Jibei. "When did she leave Hudong?" "It's this afternoon." Ruan Qingshuang could hear Su Yun's nervousness. "Don't worry. Maybe she hasn't found you yet, but she didn't want me to worry. That's why she told me that she had contacted you." How could Su Yun not be worried? He was 100% sure that Cho Yun wouldn't come to Jibei to look for him. She would go to Swang. Su Yun was sure that Cho Yun wouldn't leave Guogua alone in Hudong City, because of the Tang family's matter. Unless she wanted to go to Swang to investigate, she wouldn't let Guogua stay. It seemed that she didn't know that Qianfeng and Fan Shuang had left Hudong City. Otherwise, she wouldn't have made such a bold decision. "Su Yun, are you still there?" Ruan Qingshuang said. "Cho Yun is an adult. She should be fine. Are you okay?" "Yes, I'm fine. She might be here in a while." "I'm fine." Su Yun didn't want Ruan Qingshuang to be worried, so he said casually, "Sister Shuang, I will contact her first. If anything happens while we are away, let Chang and the others help." Ruan Qingshuang smiled. "Okay, don't worry. Hurry up and contact Cho Yun. I'm hanging up. See you later." Chapter 230. Su Yun also regretted it. He blamed himself for being too careless. When Cho Yun had this idea that day, he should have noticed it earlier. However, he didn't take Cho Yun's idea seriously. Now that something had really happened, it was too late to regret. He could only hope that Cho Yun didn't do anything excessive after arriving in Swang, and wouldn't be discovered by green ghosts so early. After hearing this news, Su Yun immediately called Cho Yun. However, Cho Yun didn't seem to want to face Su Yun and didn't pick up. After 3 consecutive times, Su Yun gave up. It seemed that Cho Yun was determined to act on her own. Su Yun quickly sent a text message. "Be careful in Suang. Don't act rashly. I'll be there as soon as possible." Finally, after sending this text message, Su Yun received Cho Yun's reply. "Everything is fine. Don't worry. Cho Yun, even if you don't think for yourself, why don't you think for Guogua?" Su Yun was really speechless. Since things had developed to this point, he needed to hurry up. After thinking about it again and again, Su Yun quickly dialed Zhou Meiyan's number. Zhou Meiyan had just had dinner with a few filmmakers. After receiving Su Yun's call, her mood was naturally very good. "Baby, why did you think of me at this time? This isn't the time for a candlelight dinner. Are you asking me to have supper?" Su Yun was shocked by this name. "You must have just had dinner. I'm afraid it's a bit early for supper. Meiyan, can we go to Swang in advance?" Zhou Meiyan paused for a moment, and then nodded. "Because they only started filming on the 6th day. I arranged for you to leave the day after tomorrow because the journey will take a whole day. On the 3rd day, you can meet with the director of the advertisement and listen to his opinion. On the 4th day, you can visit the West Lake in Swang and try the delicious egg yolk green crab and Mrs. Song fish soup in Swang. I have even arranged a hotel for you. On the 5th day, You can rest and cooperate with the shooting on the 6th day. If you want to bring it forward, I have no objections at all. I will arrange everything one day earlier. Soo-yun shook his head. There's no need to bring it forward. I arrived in Swang a day earlier, because I have some matters to settle. If it's possible, please arrange for us to leave tomorrow. Sure. I'll arrange it now. We'll leave at 9 tomorrow morning. I'll wait for you at Sky Entertainment. Zhuo Meiyan had always been swift and decisive. Since Su Yin had made the request, she naturally agreed without hesitation. She only needed to call the driver and Ling Jiling. After arriving at Swang, everything did not need to be arranged in advance. Therefore, this matter was not troublesome at all. She only needed to let Ling Jiling have a good rest on the first day. Su Yin smiled. Okay, 9 tomorrow morning. See you there. Then you're really not going to treat me to supper tonight. Zhuo Meiyan teased. Baby, don't you want to spend the last night with me before you leave? Aren't you afraid that I'll be lonely in an empty room? Su Yin bitterly smiled. Meiyan, don't you have your little brother to accompany you? You won't be lonely. Just because I have a little brother, you have to accompany Tang Jiao? You're afraid that Tang Jiao will be lonely in an empty room. But you're not afraid that I'll be lonely? Zhuo Meiyan said jealously. Okay, if that's the case, then I'll arrange for Zhuo Yeming to accompany Tang Jiao. You come over and accompany me. I'm not going to argue with you anymore. We're leaving tomorrow morning. I'm going to pack my things. Su Yin prepared to hang up. If he continued, he was afraid that Zhuo Meiyan would come looking for him. Zhuo Meiyan humphed. You make it sound nice. Pack your things? What do you have to pack? I think you're going to spend some time with little Tang Jiao. Baby, you can spend time with other women, but you can't really fall in love. Otherwise, I'll get jealous and it'll be very troublesome. Su Yin really wanted to ask her if that was a threat. It's not as much as you think. Tang Jiao and I are friends. I'll emphasize that again. You think that, but she doesn't necessarily think so. Zhuo Meiyan's words were very clear. Since you're not interested in treating me to supper, then I won't waste any more time with you. I'm hanging up. I need to inform Ling Jiling to prepare to leave with you tomorrow. Su Yin smiled. Then apologize to her for taking up an extra day of her time. Apologize? Don't forget, the old man has no children. You're half a prince of Sky Entertainment. You're apologizing to an artist? Are you trying to shorten her life? Zhuo Meiyan clicked her tongue. You're such a nice guy. Goodbye. Listening to the phone being hung up, Su Yunjin did not know what she had said to offend this woman whose thoughts he could not understand. Sigh. A woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the ocean. Even though Su Yun had the title of the most handsome man in the Dragon Brigade, he still paled in front of a woman. Around 10 p.m., Tang Jiao finally finished reading the emails. She stretched her back. Su Yun placed a cup of warm milk in front of her. In the future, try not to work too long at a desk. Your body is your own. It's also your capital. Thank you. Tang Jiao really hoped that someone would always be so considerate and take care of her. Clearly, Su Yin was very impressive to be able to do this. One had to know that if they were in Hudong, Ruan Qingshuang would definitely bring him the bird's nest porridge at this time. He would not need to worry so much. Tomorrow morning, I have to go to Swang to take care of some business. I'll be gone for at least a week. If there's anything special, remember to let me know. Su Yin smiled. Even though I can't guarantee that I'll come back to help you, I can at least guarantee that I'll help you think of a way. Tang Jiao was very satisfied. At least, what Su Yin did for her was enough to make any woman jealous and touched. She knew that she couldn't thank him with words, but she still couldn't help but thank him. Don't worry. I believe that I can take care of the Tang Corporation. Tang Jiao smiled. Everything needs to be faced. If you don't face it, you'll never be able to solve it. I've learned to face it, so don't worry. I'm not so stupid that I can't do anything without you. At least today, I'll take care of the medical equipment factory. Haha. Su Yin nodded. That's good. Rest early. I won't be going to the company with you tomorrow. Okay. Rest early too, said Tang Jiao. Tang Jiao didn't want to say anything more. The more she said, the more reluctant she would be for Su Yin to leave. Even though she didn't want to admit it, she did have a strong sense of dependence on Soo-yun. Perhaps Soo-yun leaving this time was a good thing for her. At least, she could suppress this feeling of dependence. Otherwise, it would be even harder for her to bear if Soo-yun left in the future. The night passed uneventfully. When Tang-jio woke up the next day, she only saw bread, fried eggs, and hot milk on the table. Soo-yun was nowhere to be seen. Tang-jio smiled. It seemed that she wasn't the only one who didn't know what to say to Soo-yun today. Soo-yun didn't know what to say to her either. Soo-yun did not have breakfast at home because he did not know what to say to Tang-jio in the morning. Instead, after preparing breakfast for Tang-jio, he took a taxi and left the Tang family's villa. He went to the most famous mutton soup restaurant in Jibei City and ordered a $30 mutton soup and 2 crispy sesame seed cakes. He had a warm and delicious meal. After breakfast, Soo-yun patted his full stomach and took a taxi to the Sky Entertainment Group. When he arrived at the entrance of the Sky Entertainment Group, it was 8:50 a.m. 10 minutes early should be just right. Soo-yun originally thought that he would be the first to arrive. However, when he arrived at the building, Zhou Meiyan and Ling Jiling were already waiting for him. Soo-yun looked at his watch awkwardly. Isn't there still 10 minutes left? Why are you both here so early? Of course, I'm afraid that I'll make you wait. Zhou Meiyan had no intention of scolding Soo-yun. You haven't eaten breakfast, right? I prepared tuna sushi for you. Take it with you on the way. Soo-yun grinned. I'm really full. I drank a big bowl of mutton soup. Take it with you. It's an 8-hour journey from Jibei to Suang. Even if you don't rest, it'll be 5 in the afternoon by the time you get there. Zhou Meiyan stuffed the mutton into Soo-yun's hands. Also, you're full, but Ling Jiling hasn't eaten yet. She's a girl after all. Take care of her on the way. If Sky Entertainment Group's big sister feels uncomfortable, I'll get angry with you when we get back. Don't worry. Even if I feel uncomfortable, I won't let Sister Ling feel uncomfortable. Soo-yun patted his chest and promised. Ling Jiling smiled embarrassedly. Zhou Meiyan's words were a joke. Although the outside world had different opinions about who was the big sister of Sky Entertainment Group, she knew very well that even if she was the big sister of Sky Entertainment Group, she was just an employee in front of Soo-yun. How could she let him take care of her? Zhou Meiyan's words were sarcastic. She was probably saying that if she couldn't take care of Soo-yun, the big brother of Sky Entertainment Group, then she wouldn't be able to be the big sister of Sky Entertainment Group. President's what? Don't worry. I'll take care of Mr. Su's meals and lodging. Ling Jiling guessed Zhou Meiyan's meaning and said, I promise that Mr. Su will be more energetic when he comes back. Zhou Meiyan smiled. Then I'll have to trouble you. This time, I didn't arrange for anyone to go with you. I didn't ask you to bring your assistant or any members of your entourage. You know the reason. I'll have to trouble you. It's no trouble. Ling Jiling smiled. When Zhou Meiyan gave her the notice yesterday, she told her that Soo-yun didn't like to be surrounded by too many people. Therefore, she didn't want her to bring anyone with her. Since President Zhou had spoken, Ling Jiling didn't dare to disobey. Therefore, she didn't bring anyone with her today. She drove her own car and asked the security guard to park it in the garage. Chapter 231. Soo-yun couldn't help but sigh at how powerful Sky Entertainment was. Even a famous car manufacturer like this was able to customize a special RV for them. Although the journey to Suang was long, it wouldn't make them sick. The electric door slowly opened, revealing the luxurious interior. On the right side of the car, there were 2 single sofas facing each other. In the middle of the 2 sofas was a simple but luxurious square table. On the left side of the aisle was a 3-seater sofa. There was also a 1.5-meter wide bed, a simple bathroom and a kitchen. Ling Jiling deeply felt how attentive Mr. Zhou was to this young Master Su. Previously, she had been sent to a city more than 1,000 kilometers away to do publicity or shoot an advertisement. But at most, she had been sent in a larger and more comfortable business car, such as a large business car like Weiyanhua or GMC. And this time, because of Soo-yun, she directly arranged for her own personal RV. One had to know that the value of this custom-made RV was not lower than luxury cars like Rolls-Royce Phantom and Bentley Mulsanne. Ling Jiling also felt the pressure. All this time, she had been taken care of by her assistant and team. Now she had no one with her. She had to take care of the young master behind Sky Entertainment. This gave her a headache. This car is not bad. I like it. Suyin did not stand on ceremony and directly went in. Such a big space made him feel so good. There were all kinds of drinks and fruits in the fridge. There was nothing missing. There was also a bed. Was this the rhythm of rolling in the sheets? Seeing that Suyin was satisfied, Zhou Meiyan was also happy. If you like it, I'll give it to you. No, I can't afford this car. Suyin shook his head. The fuel consumption of this car was probably comparable to 7 or 8 Audis. Moreover, the cost of maintenance was definitely the highest. If he didn't have a big company to support this car, how could he afford it? Let's go. Zhou Meiyan waved her hand. Have a safe trip. Suyin waved goodbye and began to study the various equipment in the car. Ling Jiling politely said goodbye and got into the car. After the electric door slowly closed, the car slowly set off and drove directly to the Jianghang Expressway. Ling Jiling sat on the single-seater sofa, feeling a little restrained. After all, she had to spend 8 hours with Suyin in the car. It would have been fine if she didn't know his identity, but now that she didn't know what to say. Sister Jiling, if you haven't eaten breakfast, quickly eat this tuna sushi. It looks delicious. Suyin smiled and put the lunchbox on the table in front of Ling Jiling. Ling Jiling shook her head and said with a smile, Mr. Su, this was specially made for you by Chief Sua. I don't dare to eat it. Hee, if you don't eat it, Chief Sua will be sad. She made it herself? But I don't really like Japanese food. I'm not used to the taste. Suyin shook his head and said, Sister Jiling, please don't call me Mr. Su in the future, okay? When I hear it, I feel like I'm 40 years old. Ling Jiling tilted her head and thought for a moment. If that's the case, then what should I call you? Just call me Suyin. Suyin said, I'm a very casual person. No, definitely not. Ling Jiling hurriedly said, how about this? Since you're Mr. Zhang's godson, then you're the crown prince of our Sky Entertainment Group. Then I'll call you Crown Prince. What the F***ck? Crown Prince? Suyun's face looked constipated. This was the funniest title he had ever heard in his life. But Ling Jiling's face looked very serious. She wasn't joking, right? Just call me Mr. Su. Suyin was defeated. Ling Jiling shook her head. Crown Prince, you're right. If I call you Mr. Su, then it'll make you look very old. Crown Prince is much easier to call. Hee, Crown Prince, you don't mind, right? Suyin insisted. I mind. But I think it's very good. Crown Prince, you'll get used to it. Ling Jiling's innate flirtatiousness made it impossible for Suyin to reject her. The Crown Prince was the Crown Prince then. Being called by big sister Jiling like that was really like a dream. Suyin suddenly thought of something important. Sister Jiling, didn't you promise me that if I can shoot a commercial with you, you'll give me your signed underwear? You didn't forget about that, right? Did you bring it? Ling Jiling's face quickly turned red. Crown Prince, I won't go back on my promise. I have a change of clothes in my bag, but I can't give it to you. I don't want a change of clothes. I want what you're wearing. Suyin reiterated that this was the most important part of the old topping head. Changing the old topping head would be meaningless. But I can't give it to you here. Ling Jiling's blush quickly spread to her neck. I'm thinking that I'll definitely wear their brand when shooting the commercial. When the time comes, I'll keep all the clothes I'm wearing for you, okay? Suyin heard this and his adrenaline surged. You're keeping all of them for me? One had to know that she definitely wouldn't wear just one set of underwear for a commercial. She would definitely have to change into many sets. That meant he could have many sets? If he sent all of them to the old man in one go. Who knew if he would be so happy that he would have a heart attack? But Suyin couldn't care so much. Even if he had a heart attack, he would definitely have medicine to save himself. Okay, I'll give them all to you. Ling Jiling nodded. This wasn't too difficult for her. After all, she could wear it for the commercial and give it away as a prop. But giving away her own clothes was too perverted. Suyin didn't think too much about it. In his excitement, he couldn't help but hug Ling Jiling. Sister Jiling, you're so generous. His hug didn't seem like much, but Ling Jiling couldn't take it. One had to know that in her eyes, Su Yun was the crown prince of Sky Entertainment. As an artist under Sky Entertainment, of course she didn't dare to resist being hugged by the crown prince. But she also felt like she was being taken advantage of. But if she could really be taken advantage of by such a young, successful, and handsome crown prince like Su Yun, then wouldn't it be a kind of good luck? Ling Jiling's mind flew beyond the 9 heavens. She thought that if she became the young mistress of Sky Entertainment, then Pan Bingbing would have to be respectful whenever she saw her. She wouldn't dare to compete with her for the position of Sky Entertainment's #1 sister. Now, Ling Jiling suddenly understood that their so-called #1 sister wasn't the real #1 sister. The real #1 sister of Sky Entertainment was Zhua Meiyan. The next one would probably be the young mistress who could serve the crown prince. Sister Jiling? What are you thinking about? Su Yun's words interrupted Ling Jiling's endless fantasy. She suddenly came back to her senses, and her face flushed even redder. No, nothing. Crown Prince, are you thirsty? I'll make you some tea. I can make the tea myself. You haven't eaten yet, so eat first. I really don't eat sushi. Don't worry and eat it. I'll tell Zhua Meiyan that I ate it. Su Yun waved his hand. I'll feel bad if you starve. Ling Jiling saw that Su Yun was still so concerned about her, and suddenly felt that she was one step closer to her dream of becoming a young mistress. Ling Jiling had been a virgin for so many years, because she knew that a woman only had one chance to climb up the ranks. She had to leave her most precious thing to the person who was worthy of her. After all these years, she had never met someone who was worth her time. Instead, she had trained herself to avoid the unspoken rules. She had also used her own abilities to climb up the ranks and become one of the top female artists in Sky Entertainment. Now her fame had also spread internationally. But no matter what, she knew that she would always be an artist of Sky Entertainment. But if her status really changed, then things would be very different. Ling Jiling looked at the crown prince of Sky Entertainment, who was personally making tea. All kinds of impulses rose in her heart. So what if she gave him her underwear? Even if he asked her to give herself to him, she wouldn't hesitate. Sister Jiling, I'm so sorry. Because of me, you didn't even bring an assistant. Su Yun suddenly opened his mouth. Meiyan is like this. Ever since I met her, she's always put me first. Because of this, she always neglects other people. I apologize on her behalf. B. Ling Jiling's mind buzzed. She'd been so focused on her dream that she hadn't thought of President Zhua. One had to know that President Zhua cared a lot about this young master of Sky Entertainment. How could she forget about him? If Zhua Meiyan knew that she had feelings for Su Yun, she didn't know if she'd lift a finger and ban her from Sky Entertainment forever. It wasn't impossible. Thinking of this, Ling Jiling couldn't help but tremble at her own thoughts. Ling Jiling thought about it now. She couldn't let Zhua Meiyan know. She realized that she couldn't take the initiative to provoke Su Yun, unless Su Yun took the initiative to find her. That was the only way she believed that Zhua Meiyan wouldn't do anything to her, because she would definitely obey Su Yun. If Su Yun insisted on her, then it wouldn't be her playing tricks. The car had already entered the highway and was speeding toward Suang. Su Yun was drinking tea. Although he looked relaxed on the surface, he didn't feel relaxed at all. Suang was a paradise for others, but for Su Yun, it was a dragon's pool and a tiger's den. Su Yun didn't know anything about Green Ghost. He didn't know what Green Ghost was doing in Suang. This was what gave him the biggest headache. He didn't know what he should pay attention to. Chapter 232. Make the bed. F***ck. Ling Jiling was the goddess of most otakus on the screen. Su Yun sniffled. If those otakus in the mystical dragon brigade knew that such a goddess had made their bed for them, they would definitely be envious and jealous to the point of gnashing their teeth, right? It would be even better if the goddess could warm his bed other than making it for him. Su Yun quickly stopped his thoughts. No matter how big the car was, there was only so much space. A man and a woman in the back were completely isolated from the driver's seat. If they were to do something, no one would know. The main thing was that there was really nothing to do in this place. It had been 8 hours. Not to mention dry firewood. Even wet firewood would probably be burned, right? Su Yun saw Ling Jiling's perfect S-shaped body, lying on the bed in the car, and knew that it was time to test his willpower. He tried his best to take a deep breath and turned on the car TV. He found a funny movie by Stephen Chow to relieve some of his stress. Prince, the bed is ready. There is still a long way to go before we reach Suang. If you are bored, you can lie down. It was the first time Ling Jiling served someone like this. She had an assistant at home to help her make the bed. She didn't have to do it herself. Su Yun shook his head. I'm not used to lying on the bed in the middle of the day. I'm fine with watching a movie. If you are tired, you can rest. Don't worry about me. I don't have any strong points, but I'm good at entertaining myself. Ling Jiling made a playful expression. Even though she was 2 years older than Su Yun, she was as sweet as a little girl. Then I won't stand on ceremony. Yesterday, I was suddenly informed that we were leaving today. I wasn't prepared at all. I didn't sleep much at night. Now that I'm in the car, I feel a little dizzy. Then you should rest for a while. Su Yun was afraid that he wouldn't be able to resist asking the goddess to roll in the sheets. Hence, he didn't even turn his head. There was a big demon lying on the bed, forcing him to do such an unmanly thing. Su Yun's heart was filled with emotions. God, aren't you thinking too highly of me, Su Yun? If you do this again, I won't play anymore. Whoever is pretending to be Lu Xiaohui is a coward. Even though he felt indignant, Su Yun didn't dare take advantage of Sky Entertainment. He wasn't afraid that Zhang Taisui would crawl out of the ground to look for him, but he was afraid that Zhou Meiyan would get angry with him. Using the old man's words back then, there was nothing that Zhou Meiyan wouldn't do for Su Yun. Those words were truly frightening. After watching half of the movie, Su Yun couldn't bring himself to continue watching. If he had known earlier, he would have taken the plane. At least he would have something to look forward to. Although this looked more comfortable than flying, Su Yun felt his balls ache when he thought about the 6 to 7 hours of flying. Inadvertently turning his head, Su Yun saw Ling Jiling lying on the bed. Those exquisite curves were right in front of his eyes, but he couldn't casually admire them. The reason was very simple, because Ling Jiling was also looking at him with her eyes wide open. Don't tell me you haven't slept at all? Su Yun was slightly startled. Obviously, chatting was more enjoyable than watching a movie. Yeah, I couldn't sleep. Ling Jiling smiled slightly. It's probably because there's a man by my side. Haha, Prince, it's not that I'm worried about you. It's just a personal habit of mine. I feel that it's not safe to have a man by my side. Su Yun nodded his head in understanding. With Ling Jiling's current status and her devastatingly beautiful appearance, there were definitely many old hooligans who wanted to get close to her. For example, Guo Chuanjiang. Clearly, he was always hoping for an opportunity to get close to her. If the person in the car with Ling Jiling wasn't Su Yun, but one of those high-level figures in the entertainment industry, there would be many who would immediately try to get close to her. The reason why Ling Jiling had such a sense of self-protection was clearly not her intention. It was a habit that had been cultivated over the years. Ling Jiling sat up. She didn't realize that her waking up posture was a great temptation for men. Prince, it's actually quite difficult to be in our line of work. Most people only see the glamorous side of us on the surface. They don't know that behind the scenes, there are a lot of things that not everyone can handle. Take us girls for example. It's really difficult. We have to be careful every step of the way. We're afraid that if we're not careful, we'll end up as toys in the hands of the higher-ups. It really is quite difficult. Right now, you're basically the #1 big sister in Sky Entertainment. If anyone dares to touch you, you can tell Zhou Meiyan. I believe that Zhou Meiyan wouldn't just watch you get bullied, right? Su Yun said. Sometimes, standing up for yourself is a form of self-protection. You're only thinking about the problem from my point of view. However, Director Zhou is still the boss. She will think about the problem from the higher-up's point of view. Ling Jiling smiled slightly. The boss will never blame the higher-ups for an artist. Although artists are the foundation for an entertainment company to make money, in this day and age, there is no lack of artists. Without you, there will be a lot of newcomers climbing up. In this society, There is no lack of scheming newcomers who don't hesitate to indulge themselves in the pursuit of fame. However, the higher-ups are different. The higher-ups are the capital of the entertainment company. Their relationship can't be casually replaced. Therefore, between the higher-ups and the artists, the higher-ups will always be at the top. Even if the outside world doesn't have their fame, they can just move their fingers and a popular artist will be permanently banned. They can also move their fingers and make a small star rise to fame overnight. This is very normal. Soo-yoon had never been in the entertainment industry, but he more or less knew a little. At least, he remembered that when Jang Tae-sui was still alive, he went to give him New Year's greetings during the New Year. There were definitely a lot of A-list celebrities who came to his house to give New Year's greetings. Those big brothers and sisters were all like grandchildren in front of Jang Tae-sui. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly. After saying so much, Ling Jiling couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. Chatting with Soo-yoon made her feel quite relaxed. Prince, let me give you an example. If you insist on doing something to me now, not only will I be powerless to resist, I won't even dare to resist. Because I know very well that even if Director Zwa knows that you touched me, she will definitely not blame you. And if other female artists know, I'm afraid they will think that I'm scheming and doing it on purpose. The water in the entertainment industry isn't as deep as people think, but it's really very muddy. Every industry had its own difficulties. Even the seemingly bright and beautiful stars had their own difficulties that others didn't know about. Soo-yoon thought about it and realized that this was indeed the case. If he was an ordinary person, then Ling Jiling would be a high and mighty goddess in his eyes. She was someone that he could only admire from afar and not touch. And with his current status, if he really did inherit Sky Entertainment, then he would be the boss of these artists. He would definitely be the crown prince of Sky Entertainment. If he wanted Ling Jiling to do something for him, then it would only take a single sentence for him to do it. Unless Ling Jiling didn't want to continue developing, she definitely wouldn't refuse. The water in the entertainment industry was really muddy. Many talented people might have been buried because they refused to follow the unspoken rules, but many scheming men and women might have climbed to a very high position because of this. There was no lack of such artists in the entertainment industry now, especially some male artists. In order to climb to a higher position, they would even eat both men and women. They would completely throw away their dignity just to make themselves famous. Thinking about it, these people were really pitiful. So what if you became famous? Ordinary people would think that you were a big star, and that you were living a carefree life. But in reality, who knew what you did? Just thinking about it made him feel disgusted. Soo-yoon really did have the urge to change the current situation of the industry. But after thinking about it carefully, the current situation of the industry couldn't be changed overnight. This was a long-term accumulation. Fame in the entertainment industry meant everything. Only with fame could one have money and status. So for fame, there were too many people who were willing to abandon the things that made them human. It wasn't their fault. It was just that money and fame were too tempting. Soo-yoon really didn't dare to say that he could stop the current situation of the entertainment industry, unless all the leaders of the industry became emotionless people. But food and sex were human nature. How could he change it? Prince, if you can change the current situation of the entertainment industry, I believe that there will be more talented young people who will jump out. It won't be like this now. Those who can rise to a high position are all scheming and shrewd people. Those who only have strength are too easily buried. Ling Jiling really did feel that it was a pity. She once knew a few newcomers who had great potential. Now they disappeared in the sea of people because they didn't know how to adapt to the situation. In other words, they didn't accept the unspoken rules. Artists who were as lucky as her, who had reached this stage, were pitifully few. She should be glad that she was chosen by Jang Tae-sui. Otherwise, with her principle of never accepting unspoken rules, she wouldn't have achieved what she had today. Soo-yoon shrugged. Even the old man couldn't change the industry. I don't have the ability to change it. However, I really should remind Zwamayan to pay more attention to those foolish scholars and women, and to suppress the arrogance of Guo Chuanjiang and those fellows. Don't let them eat grass from their own nest. With their abilities, there will definitely be a lot of fat meat sent to their door. Just give them some money and send them away. Don't waste your time on nurturing those scheming women. Ling Zhiling nodded and praised. Prince, no wonder the old man always wanted to give Sky Entertainment to you. Sky Entertainment needs positive energy like you. That way, Sky Entertainment can develop even more. Su Yin was stunned. How do you know that the old man wanted to give Sky Entertainment to me? Prince, I didn't get to where I am today because of my own hard work. The old man promoted me because of luck. I'm more or less a scheming person. Ling Zhiling openly admitted. So I can see that directors really wants you to come to Sky Entertainment. You are the old man's godson. If you go to Sky Entertainment, then Sky Entertainment will be yours. Directors must be doing this because of the old man's last wish. Otherwise, she wouldn't be so proactive. I know that Directors is 200% loyal to the old man. There is no doubt about that. Chapter 233. Ling Zhiling didn't continue to stay on the bed. Instead, she got off the bed and filled Su Yun's empty cup with tea. Then, she poured a cup for herself and sat across from Su Yun. Crown Prince, if you really take over Sky Entertainment, I'll support you 100%. To be honest, I feel the same way as President Zhua. I really hope that you can take over Sky Entertainment. Are you planning to announce this to the public after the commercial? That's a good plan, but that's not what I'm thinking. Sister Zhiling, I now believe that you're a scheming person. Haha, but you're very straightforward. Su Yun smiled and said, but I want to say that if I take over Sky Entertainment, it might not be a good thing for you. I won't treat you differently just because we're close. We've done commercials together, and you've even given me signed underwear. Who knows, I might even promote a newcomer because of your words. So you should support Zhua Meiyan's work. Ling Zhiling smiled awkwardly and didn't say anything else. She was indeed selfish. From her point of view, Su Yun was easier to talk to than Zhua Meiyan. Moreover, the relationship between a woman and a man was subtle. But the relationship between a woman and a woman wasn't subtle at all. Ling Zhiling and Zhua Meiyan weren't lesbians. A female boss does sound scarier, but in today's society, there are too many strong women. A woman in power may be more straightforward than a man in order to eliminate a lot of unhealthy things. Su Yun shrugged and said, at the very least, no one can attract Zhua Meiyan with their beauty. Fortunately, there are very few men that Zhua Meiyan likes. So, I think that Sky Entertainment's stability is due to her. There are very few men that Zhua Meiyan likes, but she has a special liking for you. Ling Zhiling smiled and pointed out the window paper. She didn't avoid Su Yun's gaze and said, but I really don't think you two are suitable. Zhua Meiyan seems to be a lot older than you. Su Yun smiled and said, Sister Zhiling, you're actually older than me. Women were always worried about their age, but they neglected one thing. A woman's charm increases with age, but temperament doesn't change. That's why many little girls aren't as charming as you guys. Ling Zhiling and Wanner smiled. Yes, so we are all your big sisters? Su Yun didn't understand why Ling Zhiling wanted to talk to him about this. It seemed that she didn't want his relationship with Zhua Meiyan to change. Did she just want to emphasize that Zhua Meiyan was qualified to be his elder sister? In fact, even if she did not emphasize it, he had always thought so. But now, it seemed that Ling Zhiling was indeed a scheming woman. However, this did not affect Su Yun's view of her. Every man for himself, and the devil takes the hindmost. This saying was not without reason. It wasn't that Su Yun couldn't tell what Sister Zhiling, who had kept her chastity for so many years, was thinking about him. If he wasn't afraid that Zhua Meiyan would really dare to destroy Sister Zhiling, he really wouldn't mind having some friction with the female celebrity. After all, every man had a little bit of a dream in their heart. They would all fantasize about having some small story with the goddesses on the screen. No matter how pure Su Yun was, he was still a man. He couldn't help but let his imagination run wild. Anyway, it wasn't a crime to think about it. After the car bumped for more than 3 hours, the driver slowly drove into the service station. When the car stopped, Su Yun opened the small window between the back of the car and the front of the driver's seat. Brother, let's go. Let's get out of the car and eat together. The driver was stunned. He didn't expect the crown prince, who was regarded as the pearl of presidents was Palm, to be so easygoing. No. No need. President Su, you guys go ahead. I still have to go refuel the car. I always brought food with me. As he spoke, he was afraid that Su-Yun wouldn't believe him, so he casually picked up the mineral water and compressed biscuits from the passenger seat. Su-Yun didn't force him. He knew that there was no point in saying anything more. However, when he saw the compressed biscuits, he felt that it was rare to see such a competent employee. Although compressed biscuits could fill one's stomach, they were really hard to swallow. Not only did they have no taste, but if you ate too much and drank too much water, it would make your stomach bloat. Moreover, they weren't very nutritious. When Su-Yun and the others went out on missions, they always had this as their food. Therefore, when he saw it, he felt a bit nauseous. He would rather catch a mountain rat or a snake and roast it. He didn't want to eat compressed biscuits. After Su-Yun and Ling Jiling got out of the car, the driver immediately drove the car to the gas station to refuel. They hadn't even driven halfway when the gas tank started to explode. Even if they filled it up, they probably wouldn't be able to last until Suang. They would have to stop midway. Su-Yun was a bit hungry, so he forgot that Ling Jiling was a celebrity. He directly asked her to go to the service area to eat. Although Ling Jiling wanted to say that it wasn't convenient because of her identity, when she thought about Su-Yun's identity, she couldn't refuse. She could only put on her sunglasses and try to keep a low profile. When the two of them arrived at the entrance of the service area, they instantly caused a commotion. Many people had already stopped and looked at them suspiciously. Su-Yun saw the hot skewers at the entrance. He was only anxious to satisfy his craving, so he didn't care. He turned around and said, "Sister Ling Jiling, do you want to eat this? I really like to eat this. It's hot and makes me feel good." When the words Sister Ling Jiling went down, it instantly caused an uproar. Immediately, someone pointed at Ling Jiling and exclaimed, "It's really Ling Jiling. It's Ling Jiling. Everyone look, it's Sister Ling Jiling." With this shout, Ling Jiling panicked. Although she was sure that there wouldn't be paparazzi following her out of the Sky Entertainment Group, with so many people in the crowd, no one dared to say that there wouldn't be any overly bold and radical ones. Many celebrities had been molested in this kind of situation. Of course, Ling Jiling was afraid that she would be the next victim. Yeah. Sister Ling Jiling, give me an autograph. I'm your loyal fan. We actually saw Goddess Ling Jiling. God, I'm not dreaming, am I? Sister Ling Jiling, can I shake your hand? Isn't she just a movie star? Look at these men's faces. TSK, they really haven't seen a woman before. Seeing the crowd immediately surround her, Ling Jiling quickly covered her chin with her hand. Because the sunglasses covered half of her face, her entire expression was almost blocked. Her denial seemed particularly weak. "I'm sorry, you've got the wrong person." Ling Jiling didn't have an assistant or any other staff members with her. Her entire team was left in Jibei City. This was the first time Ling Jiling was surrounded by so many people alone. This feeling wasn't like the feeling of being surrounded by stars. It was just panic. After Su-Yun realized his mistake, he didn't forget to throw 200 renminbi to the waiter who was selling the skewers. "Give me 3 sets. Put some of each item. 200 renminbi. Give me as much as you want." After saying that, Su-Yun directly pushed the crowd away and pulled Ling Jiling to his side. "You've got the wrong person. Don't you understand?" Obviously, no one believed his words. Everyone thought that Su-Yun was Ling Jiling's bodyguard. Many people also took out their phones to take pictures and post them on Weibo. "I say, are you all crazy? You're still taking pictures? What's the point of this?" Su-Yun's act was useless. The crowd continued to clamor for autographs and rushed forward. Just as the two of them were about to be drowned by the sea of people, Su-Yun suddenly grabbed a young man in a flowery shirt by the wrist and threw him into the air. His body, which weighed more than 50 kilograms, knocked over a few onlookers. Seeing Su-Yun suddenly make a move, the crowd stopped their crazy footsteps. Su-Yun's eyes revealed a cold light. He no longer had the intention to scare people. "You can shout and watch, but if anyone dares to touch me, don't blame me for not showing mercy." "Ah! My arm, my arm." The young man in the flowery shirt began to cry out on the ground. Soon, for strong men in black clothes surrounded him. They shouted, young master, as they lifted him up. One of the strong men in black knew that it was a dislocated arm. He said, young master, please bear with it for a while. At the same time, he connected the young man's arm with a kacha sound. F***ck. Isn't she just a small celebrity? What are you pretending for? The young man in the flowery shirt glared at Ling Jiling and Su Yun fiercely. What's wrong with me touching you? You have bodyguards, right? I have bodyguards too. I have 4. Do you know who I am? Seeing this, the ordinary onlookers quickly withdrew from the circle of power of the two sides. From the looks of it, they definitely wanted to see how this rich young master would flirt with a female celebrity. In this day and age, the rich could do whatever they wanted. Just look at the Weibo of those super rich second generations. They could scold whoever they wanted. How many people dared to refute them? Once a person was super rich, there was really nothing he couldn't do. Su Yun couldn't be bothered with this kind of person. He didn't even look at him. Grandson, you didn't touch me just now. If you did, I guarantee that it wouldn't be as simple as a dislocated arm. I'll give you 2 words right now, Scram. It's fine if you understand, but if you don't, I guarantee that I'll break your dog's paw. F***ck. Threatening me. Get him. Let him know who I am. The young man in the flowery shirt shouted angrily. I'm going to touch Ling Jiling today. I don't believe that anyone dares to do anything to me. As he spoke, the 4 men in black surrounded Su Yun and Ling Jiling. Su Yun's reaction was especially fast. He shielded Ling Jiling behind him and took the initiative to strike first. With a thunderous kick, he directly kicked the man in black opposite him. This scene was just like a movie. The bodyguard who was kicked flew backward like a kite with a broken string. But the people present knew that this wasn't a stunt actor. There were no cameras or directors here. This 8-meter-strong bodyguard was sent flying by this seemingly inconspicuous young man with a single kick. What shocking strength! Chapter 234. When the body of the bodyguard who was kicked away fell heavily beside the young man in the flowery shirt, the other 3 bodyguards in black saw their companion being kicked away so fiercely. Their originally indifferent attitudes suddenly became nervous. It was nothing to be able to throw their young master out just now, but their companion, who was also a bodyguard, was not so weak. To be able to be sent flying by a kick, it was obvious that they had encountered a troublesome expert. Su Yun's eyes were cold. He didn't want to fight in public. He said coldly, the one who needs a beating is your master. I don't want to fight with you. If you want to make a fool of yourselves, don't blame me if you get hurt. What are you waiting for? Go. The young man in the colorful shirt didn't allow Su Yun to speak again. Seeing his own man being kicked away, he was already going crazy. If the other party continued to be so arrogant, he would have no place to put his face. Just now he said that he was going to touch Ling Jiling. If he was scared by the other party now, wouldn't he be slapping his own face? Young master, we are not his opponent. The bodyguard who was kicked away by Su Yun used the last of his strength to get up. He looked at Su Yun with a shocked face, and said to the young man in the colorful shirt beside him. The young man in the colorful shirt didn't care so much. He raised his foot and kicked the bodyguard. He slapped him and scolded. What do I need you for? You can't even do such a big thing. Did I raise you to eat shit? Get out of here. I don't raise trash. Get out. Get as far away as possible. I will tell my godfather later. You can wait for your death. Trash. Trash. Facing the angry scolding of the young man in the colorful shirt, the bodyguard didn't say anything. He knew that he had no right to speak. Anyway, this young master's punches and kicks were like mosquito bites to him. It didn't matter at all. When the other 3 bodyguards saw this, they knew that if they didn't take down the young man in front of them, they would also end up like him. They instantly focused their attention on Su Yun. Just as Su Yun was watching the dogfight with relish, the 3 of them exchanged glances and roared at the same time before pouncing on Su Yun. Su Yun's figure was like an illusory dragon as he circled around the 3 bodyguards. Ordinary people would not be able to clearly see how he moved with such exquisite footwork. let alone when he made his move. The 3 bodyguards who looked incomparably strong instantly cried out and knelt on the ground while covering their crotches. Su-Yun took a step back and stood in front of Ling Jiling once again. He was unscathed and didn't even sweat. This time, Su-Yun didn't wait for the young man in the flowery shirt to speak. He strode towards him. When the young man in the flowery shirt saw the other party's posture, he was instantly stunned. As he retreated, he muttered, "What do you want? I'm not afraid of you. You. Do you know who my godfather is? Don't touch me. Big brother, I was wrong. Please let me go this time." From threatening to begging for mercy, the young man only took 3 steps back. When it came to trash, he was afraid that this kind of person was the real super trash. Su-Yun laughed disdainfully. "Didn't I not give you a chance just now? I asked you to get lost, but you didn't. You wanted to stay and fight with me? Why, is there no one around you now? Are you scared? Come, tell me, what kind of big shot is your godfather? He's a high-ranking official and the boss of one of the top 100 tax-paying corporations in the country. How could he be so blind as to take in a trash son like you? Instead of raising a trash son like you, it's better to raise a goddaughter who can resolve the loneliness of the night." "I'm just a pile of trash, You're a great person and don't mind me. Big brother, I was obsessed just now. Let me go this time?" The young man in the flowery shirt looked at Su-Yun and smiled. He really thought that he was fine. Su-Yun nodded. "Okay, you can avoid the death penalty, but you can't escape punishment." Just when the young man in the flowery shirt was still trying to understand the meaning of this sentence, Su-Yun had already fiercely kicked him in the groin. The young man in the flowery shirt let out a terrifying scream and directly knelt on the ground with his legs clamped together. He wasn't those strong bodyguards. The strength of Su-Yun's kick was really enough to make him unable to have any descendants. Su-Yun wasn't stupid. Before he made a move on this guy, he had already flicked the coin in his pocket with his finger and directly destroyed a surveillance camera that could record here. The onlookers were now honest. Seeing that the young thugs were dealt with, ordinary people wouldn't use their lives to chase after stars. Ling Jiling's heart that was in her throat finally settled down. Su-Yun clapped his hands and went straight to the counter of the supermarket that sold hot skewers. "Beauty, are the 3 sets ready?" "Yes." The waiter at the counter was also frightened just now. While he handed the 3 full sets of hot skewers to Su-Yun, he took out 50 yuan and handed it to Su-Yun. "Sir, your change." Su-Yun didn't take the money. Instead, he pouted. "Give me a pack of Su cigarettes." Although Su-Yun didn't smoke, he felt that the driver might smoke. It was an 8-hour journey. It was so tiring. They couldn't go without cigarettes. This thing was refreshing. Su-Yun and Ling Jiling took the 3 sets of hot skewers and left the service station one after another. At this time, the driver also filled the car with gas and drove in front of them. Su-Yun let Ling Jiling get in the car first. He took 2 sets of hot skewers and walked to the driver's seat door. Seeing this, the driver hurriedly opened the door and jumped out. "Manager Su, do you have any orders? Things like compressed biscuits are so boring. We're not in a hurry. Finish this before we leave." Su-Yun laughed and handed a set of hot skewers to the driver. "I also want to take a breath. It's so uncomfortable to be in there with a beauty to look at but not eat." "Ha!" The driver didn't expect Su-Yun to be so easygoing. He didn't refuse. When he took the skewers, he said seriously, "Thank you, Manager Su." Then he began to eat. Usually when he went out with the boss, he never enjoyed this kind of treatment. Although it was just a set of hot skewers and wasn't anything expensive, Su-Yun's friendship made him feel that it was worth it to be such a person's driver. "Manager Su, you look young, but I think you're very good," the driver said as he ate. "Haha, although Manager Zhua is usually good, she's definitely not as considerate as you." Su-Yun laughed. "We men shouldn't lower ourselves to the same level as women. Big brother, I think you're a few years older than me. Don't call me Su-Yun. Just call me brother. I'm not in the management of Sky Entertainment. It's awkward for me to call you that. Manager Su, I've met a really straightforward person." The driver grinned. "My name is Wu Yuandong. I'm 31 years old, retired soldier. I've been Sky Entertainment's driver for managers WA for more than a year. Soo-yun laughed. Class leader, I've also been in the army. You don't have to call me Manager Soo anymore, right? Just call me Soo-yun. It sounds nice. Ah, brother Soo-yun, no wonder you're so straightforward. So you're also from the army. Wu Yuandong laughed heartily. Eating the skewers made him feel even better. After he retired from the army, he was recruited by Sky Entertainment because of his agility. He hadn't had such a good time chatting with anyone since then. Soo-yun was also full and satisfied. He threw a pack of cigarettes to Wu Yuandong. Have a smoke before you go. There's no rush. Wu Yuandong took the cigarettes and opened them. He flicked one to Soo-yun. Soo-yun didn't want to take it, but after thinking about it, he took it. Wu Yuandong took out his lighter and lit one for Soo-yun. Then he lit one for himself and took a deep puff. Brother Soo-yun, I'm very happy to have met you. Being in the army is better than being in the company. There's no one to talk to. Being a driver is really boring. Brother Dong, you weren't just a simple soldier in the army, right? Soo-yun said with a smile as he blew out smoke. Wu Yuandong paused for a moment. He hesitated for a few seconds before sighing. Brother, I won't hide it from you. Back then, I was almost selected to be in the Special Forces. I boasted shamelessly that I was the best in every subject in the army. However, during the selection for the Special Forces, I couldn't stand the instructor's attitude and quit. Now that I think about it, I really regret it. Soo-yun wasn't wrong. Just by looking at Wu Yuandong's swollen temples, he knew that he was definitely an expert. Although he didn't dare to say that he was a second-rate expert, Soo-yun guessed that he was close. Therefore, he was very surprised that someone like him wasn't selected to be in the Dragon Brigade. It turned out that he was a talent that was lost during the selection for the Special Forces. It couldn't be helped. A soldier's duty was to obey orders. Those who couldn't stand the test would be cut off no matter how talented they were. There was no doubt about that. Haha. There's no medicine for regret in this world. Brother Dong, maybe a lot of people who were selected are regretting that they didn't give up. Soo-yun smiled as he put out his cigarette in the ashtray. Take your time smoking. I'll go up first. Wu Yuandong took 2 deep puffs before he put out his cigarette and threw it in the ashtray. Okay, let's go. There's still more than half of the journey. Let's try to reach the destination before 6. Directors has already arranged a restaurant. Soo-yun smiled as he returned to the car. Wu Yuandong quickly got in the car and started the engine. Ling Jieling was full after eating only half of such a large portion of hot skewers. She looked at Soo-yun's relaxed and happy expression and couldn't help but ask, "What are you talking about? You look so happy." "Nothing. I just felt that I got along quite well with him." Soo-yun smiled. I heard that Zwamayan has already booked a restaurant for us. After we arrive tonight, we can have a good meal and rest. Let's just make do with this lunch. Sister Jieling, please don't blame me for not treating you well. Ling Jieling looked at the remaining half of the hot skewers and said, If I knew that there was going to be a big meal tonight, I wouldn't have eaten so much for lunch. Sigh, I don't want to live a hard life of losing weight. Please don't let me get fat, Soo-yun yawned. It would definitely be good to take a nap after a full meal. I'm not afraid of getting fat. I'm going to sleep for a while. If you're tired, wake me up. I'll just take a short nap. Chapter 235. Soo-yun's nap took him a few hundred kilometers. Because he had nothing else to do, the only thing he could think of was to sleep. Although chatting with Sister Jieling could kill time, he really did not want the goddess of his screen to be too close to him. If she was too close, he would not feel anything. Midway, they refueled again at the rest stop. Wu Yuandong felt that Soo-yun was not arrogant, so he specially woke him up for a cigarette. He also told him that there was less than 200 kilometers left, and that they would reach the stop in an hour. Soo-yun looked at the time and estimated that it would be around 6 o'clock in Suang. Just as the two of them were smoking and yawning outside the car, Soo-yun felt a vicious gaze on him. He turned around and saw that it was the young man in the flowery shirt. When the young man saw Soo-yun looking at him, he trembled. He quickly turned around and pretended not to see Su-yun, hiding himself among the bodyguards. Su-yun was not stupid. He laughed helplessly. Are you following me? Fine, I'll tell you. I'm going to Suang. If you're willing to follow, I won't stop you. But don't blame me for not reminding you. The next time I see you, I'll definitely break your legs. The young man in the flowery shirt did not say anything. The bodyguards beside him also had red eyes, but they did not dare to say anything. They could only hope that this matter would pass quickly. However, what excited them was that the other party was actually going to Suang. Although the young man in the flowery shirt had his head buried in his pants, all he could do now was endure with all his might. Who is it? Wu Yuandong was slightly stunned. He watched as Su-yun greeted the man in the flowery shirt and said, Do you want me to help you deal with them? No need. They're just a few incompetent rats. There's no point in wasting time. It's just that I'm a little shocked that they followed us all the way. Su-yun smiled faintly. If his guess was right, this guy was really patient. Wu Yuandong was stunned. No wonder. It's my fault. There was indeed a car following us all the way, but I thought it was on the highway and followed us to save time. It turns out that it had ulterior motives. Su-yun heard that he had guessed correctly. Where is the license plate from? What car? It's a Toyota Honda with a Suang license plate. Wu Yuandong pointed at a place not far behind the young man in the flowery shirt. It's that white car. The license plate number is pretty good. It's the Leopard. When Su-yun heard that it was a car with a Suang license plate, he sighed helplessly. It seemed that God really liked to find trouble for him. It was obvious that he would not be free of worry when he reached Suang. He did not expect to provoke a local bully on the way. However, this did not matter. He had even offended the overlord of Suang. He did not care about offending such a small character. Unless this grandson's godfather was Green Ghost, Su-yun really did not care. Thinking about Green Ghost's current situation, he reckoned that he had just acknowledged the Netherworld King as his godfather, so he definitely wouldn't be in the mood to accept another godson, right? Let's go. We'll arrive as soon as possible and deal with it as soon as possible. After Su-yun finished speaking, he looked at the young man in the flowery shirt again. Then he got into the car without looking back. Wu Yuandong also glared in that direction before driving away quickly from the service area. After watching the Mercedes-Benz RV leave, a bodyguard beside the young man in the flowery shirt could not help but say, Young master, let's chase after them. Chase my ass. Didn't you hear that they're going to Suang? The man in the flowery shirt sneered as he looked at the car's departing route. Suang is my territory. I don't believe that they can go against me there. Humph. Isn't he just a small celebrity? Don't you know what my godfather does? Are you stupid? What level is my godfather at? So what if they come and help me? The bodyguards did not say anything else and allowed the young man in the flowery shirt to laugh wildly for a while. Then he quickly made a call. Sunchung, get the brothers to do me a favor. Arrange for our people to be at the east, south, and north stations of Suang. In about an hour, you will see a Mercedes-Benz RV. As long as that car enters Suang, keep an eye on it and tell me where it is going at any time. The young man in the flowery shirt listened to the person on the phone and scolded jokingly. Ha ha ha, you want to know who is inside? Ling Jiling, do you believe me? Let's do this properly. I'm not joking with you. I'm going to sleep with her tonight. After a round of laughter, the young man in the flowery shirt hung up the phone and resumed his cold smile. He waved his hand and said, Let's go. But there's no need to follow them now. Stay away from them in case they get suspicious. Yes. The remaining hour or so of the journey seemed to pass by very quickly. When the car drove out of the southern exit of the Suzhou Expressway, Ling Jiling stretched her back deeply. The turbulent waves in front of her chest were about to burst open the seemingly weak buttons on her shirt. We're finally here. I'm so tired. In the future, if I don't bring a team with me, flying is still the most comfortable. Su-yun patted his eyebrows and controlled the blood that almost rushed to his nose. He tried to make himself forget the erotic scene he had seen. He opened the partition between the driver's seat and the car and said to Wu Yuandong, Brother Dong, are we going to eat first or check into the hotel first? Let's go to the hotel first. The place to eat is the revolving restaurant on the top floor of the hotel. Directors has already arranged it. I'm familiar with the roads here. If there's no traffic jam, we'll definitely reach the destination in 30 minutes. Wu Yuandong smiled. If there's a traffic jam, I'm afraid it will take more than an hour. However, this crow's beak was really accurate. The road when they got off the expressway was fine, but once they entered the city of Suang, and it was rush hour, they were directly stuck on the road. More than an hour later, they finally arrived at the 5-star Suang Waltz hotel that Zhuo Meiyan had booked. Wu Yuandong went to the garage to park the car. Su Yin and Ling Jiling immediately received their room cards under the guidance of the waiter, and rushed directly to the 2 suites that Zhuo Meiyan had booked for them. Hotels in big cities were naturally more lively than those in small places. Even if many people recognized Ling Jiling, they would try to keep calm. After the 2 of them put down their luggage and came out, Wu Yuandong was already waiting for them at the door. His room was the standard one downstairs. As a driver, it was already very good to receive such treatment. Zhuo Meiyan was still very generous. Brother Su Yun, Miss Ling, the restaurant is upstairs. I'm not used to eating these things. You 2 go ahead. I especially like a grilled squid shop nearby. I'll go there and eat. Because of his identity, Wu Yuandong tried to treat himself differently. He knew that Su Yun would definitely invite him, but he also knew that Zhuo Meiyan hadn't booked dinner for him. Su Yun of course understood the reason behind this, and didn't refuse. Brother Dong, go ahead and eat. If there's anything, just call me. Okay. You 2 should rest early after dinner. If you don't have anything to do tomorrow, just tell me where you want to go. Zhuo Meiyan has said that this trip will be worth it. Wu Yuandong said and ran down the stairs. At this time, the elevator was reserved for Su Yun and Ling Jiling. Ling Jiling smiled slightly. I think he's the most interesting driver in Sky Entertainment Group. He's actually brothers with the Crown Prince. I'm a casual person. Our personalities are compatible. Even if he's a beggar on the street, I'll still call him my brother. If we don't get along, even if he's the king of heaven, I won't care. Su Yin shrugged. Ling Jiling thought for a moment and smiled. This is what they mean by, 1,000 cups of wine is too little when you're drinking with a bosom friend. That's right. Su Yin nodded. The 2 chatted as they walked. Ling Jiling was familiar with the hotel, so she quickly brought Su Yin to the revolving restaurant on the highest floor of the Waltz Hotel. After a simple introduction of their names, the waiter immediately led them to the private room that Zhuo Meiyan had reserved. Then, a bottle of 1982 Lafite was served, followed by a series of delicacies. Zhuo Meiyan is really considerate. If I came alone, I'm afraid I wouldn't be treated like this. Ling Jiling's tone was flattered. She poured Su Yin a drink and said, being with the Crown Prince is really different. Su Yin raised his glass. I thought I was benefiting from being with you. Looks like you're the one benefiting from being with me. Ling Jiling covered her mouth and giggled. After getting off the car and checking in, she relaxed a lot. She also raised her glass and lightly clinked it with Su Yun's. However, before the 2 could drink, someone walked up to the table and interrupted their meal. Not to mention the man's face, he was definitely tall, rich, and handsome from head to toe. Su Yin raised his head. Holy shit, isn't this the popular young actor, Yin Su? A handsome idol actor. Sister Jiling, long time no see. Do you still remember your little brother? Yin Su smiled at Ling Jiling. He didn't even look at Su Yun. I originally wanted to go back to the company after finishing filming. I didn't think I'd see you here. Ling Jiling was very happy to see her junior from Sky Entertainment. Yin Su, I didn't think you'd still remember my name when you're so popular. Is the TV series about to finish filming? How come you have time to leave the set and come here? It's about to finish. There are too many action scenes in the past few days. They're all stuntmen. I came out to get some fresh air. I'll go back to the set tomorrow. Sister Jiling, do you have time tonight? I want to chat with you and learn how to act. Yen Su's smile didn't have any evil intentions. However, as long as one was a man, they wouldn't believe he really wanted to learn how to act from an actress. Su Yun swirled the red wine in his glass that he didn't drink. He said calmly, acting is something that's taught in film schools. The most important thing for an actor now is professionalism. If you think you can rely on a stunt double for everything, you won't be able to achieve much. Chapter 236. Who are you? Yensu finally looked at Su Yin impatiently. But it was only a glance, and then he looked back at Ling Jiling. After all, Su Yun's clothes were all from the mall. No matter how he looked at it, it didn't look like something a rich or powerful person would wear. Sister Jiling, don't tell me you're even letting the driver eat at the table? Yensu was now a new idol in Huaxia. He was one of the top 10 young stars. At the age of 17, he signed a contract with Sky Entertainment. In just 2 years, Sky Entertainment packaged him into a movie, TV, and singing star. That's why Yensu's personality was so spoiled. Ling Jiling was stunned. The so-called natural disaster should be used to describe this kind of thing. Perhaps because of his spoiled personality, Yensu's unintentional words directly ruined his bright future forever. For a moment, she didn't know how to introduce this young master of Sky Entertainment to this little junior brother. Su Yun's eyes told her that she didn't need to say anything. He wanted to teach this newbie a lesson. What's wrong with the driver? Isn't a driver a person? Su Yun put the wine glass in his hand on the table and tapped his leg. Do you think you're above everyone just because you starred in a movie and became famous? If the fact that you've filmed so many movies as a stunt double is leaked out, do you think it'll have a big impact on you? If this show has too many stunt doubles, I don't think there's a need to air it. If this news spreads, Sky Entertainment will also be affected. In the future, the words produced by Sky Entertainment will be despised on the screen. Yensu sneered disdainfully. Sister Jiling, your driver is really arrogant. As he spoke, he turned to Su Yun. Then let me tell you, the investment for this show isn't small, and it's about to be completed. Who do you think you are? You think you can't air it just because you say so? Maybe even the TV station's schedule has been arranged. Next month, we'll go to Mango's headquarters to do promotion. Who do you think you are? Can you change the current situation? Su Yun didn't continue to pay attention to the arrogant Yensu. He took out his phone and dialed Zhuo Meiyan's number. He went straight to the point. What's the name of the show Sky Entertainment is filming in Suang? That's the one that Yensu starred in. Baby, I thought you called me to tell me you're safe. Zhuo Meiyan was a little angry, but it only lasted for a moment. What, you want to go to the film set to inspect the work? It's an idol drama called Mingling in an Office Full of Beauties. It's an adaptation of a 17K novel. What's wrong? The name of this drama sounds good, but the main character is a little lame. Su Yun. I've read the novel and I think it's pretty good. Although the ratings can be guaranteed with a popular young actor as the main lead and Mango's headquarters to promote it, have you ever thought about the reputation? Zhuo Meiyan was stunned. What are you trying to say? I want to say that I saw that the main character of this movie had a stunt double shoot the scene while he came to the revolving restaurant of the Waltz Hotel to pick up girls, Su Yun said bluntly. So, I hope that this movie can be res hot so that the script and the original novel will not be tainted. Zhuo Meiyan stared blankly for a moment before replying calmly. All right, I know what you mean. It looks like you're not only safe, you're even able to eat. Don't you know that I'm so worried that I can't eat? Bad baby. I'm not talking to you anymore. Su Yun got goosebumps from Zhuo Meiyan's coquettish tone. In order to prevent himself from fainting, he quickly said goodbye and hung up the phone. Ling Jiling didn't think that Su Yun would be so direct. He had invested so much money and effort into a drama that was about to finish filming, and he actually called Zhuo Meiyan to cancel it without any hesitation. Yensu's eyes widened and narrowed as he looked at Su Yun. He didn't believe what this person said on the phone. He said coldly, "Brother, are you done showing off? You want to cancel the drama, right? Who did you fight with? Ha ha ha. Do you know who the CEO of Sky Entertainment is? You don't even have a title. Do you think I'll be scared by your show-off? What a joke." Su Yun suddenly understood why Ling Jiling was so careful around him. It looked like the higher-ups of an entertainment company really had the power to make a popular artist fall to the bottom of the valley in a matter of minutes. Moreover, they might never be able to make a comeback. He picked up the red wine in front of him again and drank it all in one gulp. He had to admit that it felt good to have power. A small-time actor dared to show off in front of him. He had to let him know how powerful he was. Sister Jiling, is your driver mentally unstable? It's best to get him checked out. Yansu didn't seem to have said enough. He turned around and said to Ling Jiling. Ling Jiling looked at Yansu with a bitter smile. She thought that this kid was hopeless. Yansu, I think you should hurry up and apologize. Apologize? Yansu was stunned. His head turned back and forth between Su Yun and Ling Jiling a few times. He was still completely confused as he asked, Sister Jiling, you want me to apologize to him? You're too protective of him, aren't you? Oh. Ling Jiling shook her head helplessly. He really was hopeless. Before Yansu could say anything, his phone rang. When he saw that it was his manager, he put away his playful attitude and picked up the phone. Hello, Sister Jiling, what's wrong? What's wrong? You're asking me what's wrong? Do you not want to work anymore? If you don't want to work anymore, you should have said it earlier. Pack up your things and get the hell out of here. The woman on the other side of the phone seemed to have a very bad temper. The first thing she said was cursing. You can mess with anyone, but you mess with directors was man. This show has been filming for more than half a year, and you ruined it just like that. You can mess with anyone, but you mess with the Prince of Sky Entertainment. I'm telling you, the person with Ling Jiling right now is someone you can't mess with even 10,000 people. If you still want to work at Sky Entertainment, then apologize right now. Apologize. Yansu was a little annoyed at being cursed at, but when he heard this, he felt as if a bucket of cold water had been poured over his face. Directors was man. The Prince of Sky Entertainment? Yansu's eyes slowly moved toward Su Yun. His mouth slowly opened. He couldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. This man who was wearing ordinary clothes from a shopping mall was actually the Crown Prince of Sky Entertainment? Beep 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 beep. The busy tone on the phone made Yansu feel as if he had been abandoned by everyone. Hongjia, who was famous for being protective of her people, was cursing at him like that. It seemed like he had really gotten himself into big trouble. The only thing Ling Jiling could do to help him was to remind him. Yansu, I didn't have time to introduce you. This is Su Yun, the Prince of Sky Entertainment. He might even be the successor of Sky Entertainment in the future. You were too impulsive just now and didn't give me a chance to speak. Don't blame me for not reminding you in time. Even if I did, you probably wouldn't have believed me. Yansu's Adam's apple moved. He swallowed several mouthfuls of saliva. Tonight was the most tragic night of his life. Originally, he was tired from filming and wanted to rest at the hotel. He wanted to invite a few beautiful fans to relax on WeChat, but he didn't expect to run into the Prince of Sky Entertainment. But wasn't this prince a bit too sudden? He had been in Sky Entertainment for 2 years now, and he had never heard of such a person in Sky Entertainment. If he had known earlier, he would have been more careful. What should he do now? What should he do? Prince. I just came out of the set. I just came to see a friend. I'll go back now. Yansu's panicked explanation was full of holes. Su Yun waved his hand, indicating that he should stop making up nonsense. Ling Jiling knew that it was best for her to remain silent. She hadn't interacted much with Su Yun. She only knew that Su Yun was kind and didn't know how Su Yun would react when he was unhappy. She didn't want to be implicated by Yansu. All right, whatever your manager tells you to do, just do it. Su Yun said indifferently. I was just giving Zhou Meiyan some advice. It's up to her whether or not the show is cancelled. She's the boss of Sky Entertainment. But don't be an eyesore in front of me now. I hate unprofessional people the most in my life. No matter what position they are in, as long as they are unprofessional, I hate them very much. I hate unprofessional flight attendants who play with their mobile phones even more. If I were the leader of the aerospace department, I would definitely withdraw without any hesitation. Even their captain would be fired. Their management was negligent. Hearing this, Yansu knew that he would never be able to make a comeback in this life. But if he wanted to jump ship, it would be extremely difficult. The penalty for breaking the contract was a huge sum that he couldn't afford. How could he be so unlucky? Right now, he could only pray that Zhou Meiyan was just speaking casually. The show couldn't be cancelled just like that, right? Clearly, this newcomer didn't know what kind of person their boss was. But Ling Jiling knew very well that Sue Meiyan was a woman of her words. Even if she said something wrong, she wouldn't turn around and slap herself in the face. That was why so many people were convinced by her after Zhang Taisui left. Therefore, the filming of Mingling in an office full of beauties that was about to be completed might really be aborted. Yen Su left the revolving restaurant in a daze, but that didn't affect Su Yun's appetite at all. He picked up a piece of Westlake vinegar fish and put it in his mouth. This taste is more authentic. Delicious. Let's eat. The earlier we eat, the earlier we can go to bed. Su Yun smiled and said to Ling Jiling, I have some personal matters to take care of tomorrow. If you want to go somewhere, ask Dong Gu to drive you. Ling Jiling saw that Su Yun was about to start eating, so she picked up her own chopsticks. Crown Prince, is there anything I can help with? If there's a need, I'll listen to your arrangements. You don't have to do it yourself. Chapter 237. After dinner, Su Yun rejected Ling Jiling's invitation to watch a movie together. He went back to his room alone and called Cho Yun again. However, Cho Yun's phone was turned off. This gave Su Yun a headache. It was too difficult to determine if there was a problem with the phone off. There weren't many broken phones nowadays that could last more than 2 days on standby. The reason why Su Yun liked the Naked Chicken Duck 210 was that it could last for more than a month on standby. It also had the ability to not break even after 100 falls, to resist beatings, and to not be afraid of water and fire. He wasn't afraid of accidentally falling into the washing machine with his pants. Therefore, whether Cho Yun's phone ran out of battery, or was she controlled by Green Ghost, was definitely a multiple-choice question that Su Yun couldn't figure out at all. Su Yun couldn't think of any other way to contact Cho Yun. However, he had to think of a way. He couldn't just sit there and wait for death. Even if Cho Yun was controlled by Green Ghost, he still had to see her alive or dead. In the end, Su Yun chose to go out and look for her personally, because he wouldn't get any news if he just sat in the room. Although Swang was very big, his mind was clear enough. As long as the route was right, it shouldn't be too difficult to find someone. Su Yun casually took a taxi at the entrance of the Waltz Hotel and left. The destination was easy for the driver to find. The highest private club in Suang. Going to that place must be a very good choice. Because what Su Yun wanted to know now was Feng Qiansui's residence. He definitely wouldn't be able to find out if he asked ordinary people. Even if he went to the police station, no one would pay attention to him. With Feng Qiansui's identity, he must have some connection with the highest private club in Suang. Even if he didn't have any connection, he might be able to meet 1 or 2 people who knew Feng Qiansui. In any case, Su Yun felt that that place had the greatest chance. He really couldn't think of any other places. 20 minutes later, Su Yun arrived at the private clubhouse called Qin, under the guidance of the driver. The name was quite interesting. Qin. The first emperor to dominate the country was Qin Shi Huang. It seemed that the guests in this private clubhouse were definitely people of noble status in Suang. 2 tall and mighty security guards at the door looked suspiciously at Su Yun, who took a taxi out of the club. The guests here were definitely not simple people. Even the worst one was a master with a net worth of hundreds of millions, who didn't have a few cars. Therefore, it was absolutely impossible for him to be reduced to taking a taxi. At the very least, there should be 7 series and A8 models here, right? Hello sir, may I ask who you are? The security guard originally had no right to stop and question the guests who came here, but he could directly stop such a suspicious person. I'm not a member here, and I don't have a membership certificate. But if you don't let me in, I won't have the chance to apply for a membership, right? Su Yun said confidently. Brother, I'll be your member in a while, so don't stop me. I'm sorry, sir. The security guard had no intention of letting Su Yun in at all. Our annual membership fee here isn't something that ordinary people can afford, so I hope that you can cooperate with my work. Although the security guard looked down on Su Yun, his attitude was definitely not snobbish. He spoke very politely, which made Su Yun feel quite comfortable, so he didn't glare at him. Brother, I really want to join the club. We also know that the membership fee of this private clubhouse is not low. If you don't have an income of 10 million a year, you won't be able to afford it. The security guard was really in a dilemma. Soo-Yun didn't seem like someone who could afford to come here, but his tone really did sound like a rich person. Just as the security guard was in a dilemma, the manager of the hall happened to pass by. When the security guard saw the situation, he hurriedly called out to the manager. "Manager Zhai, there's a gentleman here who wants to apply for a membership. This you see?" Manager Zhai was holding a Chunghwa cigarette in his hand. He held his phone in his hand and hung up the call that he was about to make. He sized up Soo-Yun a few times. No matter how he looked at him, Soo-Yun didn't seem like someone who could afford the membership fee. "Sir, our minimum membership fee is 300,000 yuan, and the annual maintenance fee is 30,000 yuan. If you think it's suitable." There's one more thing. We don't only accept money here. I also need to understand your connections." Before he finished speaking, Soo-Yun took out his World Bank black card. "Since you're the manager of such a big clubhouse, you should know what this is, right? How many members in this clubhouse do you think have connections to have this black card?" Manager Zhai was dumbfounded. He absolutely couldn't believe that such a young man actually had such a super membership card from the World Bank. To be honest, in this clubhouse, from the day it opened until today, there were definitely no more than 3 people who could have such a super black card from the World Bank. This time, Manager Zhai was scared. He didn't dare to make wild guesses about the identity of this young man. However, for such a person to come here was called giving face. Not to mention a small manager like him. Even the boss would have to serve him carefully. "Sir, just now, our people had eyes but didn't recognize Mount Tai. Please don't mind. I'll bring you in now." Manager Zhai carefully led Soo-Yun directly into the clubhouse while he hurriedly dialed a number. The other party picked up the phone and said, "Hello." Manager Zhai immediately said in a low voice, "Master Chow, a VIP has come to our clubhouse. I think you should personally receive him with his identity." "What identity?" Master Chow on the other side of the phone was stunned. Manager Zhai tried his best to lower his voice. "The owner of the super black card from the World Bank." Master Chow said without hesitation, "Bring the guest to my reception room immediately." After saying that, he hung up the phone. It seemed that he was going to instruct someone to prepare tea and receive the VIP. Soo-Yun's ears were very sensitive. Even if Manager Zhai covered the phone tightly, it couldn't stop him from hearing Master Chow's tone. He didn't expect this black card to be so useful. However, not everyone could tell that this black card was extraordinary. Soo-Yun remembered that Guogua recognized this card when she saw it. Therefore, he was even more certain that Guogua was not a child of an ordinary family. It seemed that Guogua had seen this card before, which proved that Feng Qiansui also had it. Originally, Soo-Yun didn't intend to spend money to join the World Bank, because he wouldn't spend money in such a place for no reason. He even thought that if he couldn't get in, he would force his way in. Then, he would be caught and brought to see the boss. Now because of a black card, he was settled and treated like a VIP. Very soon, Soo-Yun came to the reception room of the boss, Master Chow, under the guidance of Manager Zhai. There was a small Hainan Wangwali table in the middle of 2 hand-carved rosewood chairs. Not to mention all kinds of antiques, ceramics, and calligraphy, the 2 chairs and the small table were worth more than millions of RMB. The man in the room, who was about 60 years old, raised his hand and pushed his glasses. He looked at Soo-Yun with suspicion. Yes, Chao Nanshan found it hard to believe that the young man in front of him was the owner of the super black card from the World Bank. This made him suspect that he had been fooled. However, he was very sure that Manager Zhai, whom he had trained, was not the kind of person who would call him in a panic. "Master Chow, I've brought the guest to you. I'll take my leave first." After Manager Zhai finished speaking, he left the room. Soo-Yun could see that the man in front of him was a little suspicious, so he opened his mouth and smiled. "Master Chow, let me introduce myself. I'm Soo-Yun." Seeing that Soo-Yun was a person who had seen the world, Chao Nanshan reached out his hand and gestured for him to sit down. He also opened his mouth and introduced himself. "I'm the owner of this Qing club, Chao Nanshan." "Haha, Mr. Su looks unfamiliar. Judging from your accent, You're not a local from Swang. Master Chow, I just arrived in Swang today. I don't think you're the kind of person who is rude and unreasonable. Seeing that the subordinates you've trained are of such high quality, you must be a cultured person. I'll get straight to the point. Su Yin smiled. There was no point in dragging it on. Chao Nanshan chuckled and nodded. It seems that I didn't guess wrong. When I first saw Mr. Su, I felt that you weren't here to join the club, but to ask me a question. Su Yin smiled embarrassedly. Because I just arrived, I couldn't find anyone to ask about something. I had to ask the taxi driver to take me to the most famous club in Swang. I think with the relationship of the boss here, there's nothing I can't find out. Ha ha ha, Mr. Su is indeed a straightforward person. Chao Nanshan poured tea and said, Mr. Su, please. Since you're so straightforward, if I hesitate, I'll be a bad host. Mr. Su, if you have any questions, just ask. Su Yin smiled faintly. Master Chow, I just want to ask you about a person's residence. Chao Nanshan nodded and replied, Mr. Su, the person you want to ask about is naturally not an ordinary person. Please speak. If I know, I think I'll tell you everything I know. Where's Feng Qiansui's house? Su Yin didn't stand on ceremony with Chao Nanshan and asked directly. Chao Nanshan's expression suddenly changed. His originally kind gaze turned hostile as he looked at Su Yin. His voice naturally became colder. Mr. Su, if you're here to make friends, I welcome you. If you want to join my Qing club, I also welcome you. But if you bring me trouble, then I'm sorry. I'll have to see you out. Su Yin saw Chao Nanshan's reaction. He was sure that this person must be friends with Feng Qiansui and definitely knew the location of the Feng family. Master Chow, I'm just asking for an address. I have no ill intentions. I hope you don't think too much. I really don't have any ill intentions. Chao Nanshan completely ignored Su Yin's words and shouted to the door. Come. See the guest out. Chapter 238. Even though the other party was so determined to send him off, since Su Yin had come here, he would definitely not return empty-handed. He did not get up, but continued to sit on the small leaf-red sandalwood dragon chair. Grandpa Chow, if there's anything you want to say, let's talk slowly. Chao Nanshan didn't smile at all. Mr. Su, if you really want to make friends with me, I'm very happy. But if you're here to cause me trouble, then I'm sorry. Don't talk about making friends. I'm afraid we can't even be friends. Mr. Su, I've already sent you off. I hope you won't embarrass yourself. Su Yin smiled. Master Chow, I'm just here to ask for an address. I don't think you need to be so nervous. I promise no one will know that I've been here. Similarly, if you don't want me to have anything to do with you, then we'll pretend that we've never met today. I've always felt that I've never met someone I don't get along with. Since you don't appreciate my kindness, then please do as you please. But don't touch my bottom line. Chao Nanshan began to put pressure on Su Yin when he said this. Su Yin still had that evil smile on his face. Master Chow, actually, I'm very willing to make friends with you, but you don't seem to appreciate it. Since that's the case, I can only offend you. I believe you know where Feng Qiansui lives. If you don't tell me, I won't leave. Also, Grandpa Chow, you should understand something. You're afraid of me, but I still came to find you. This shows that there's a gap between our abilities. At least, I dare to offend someone you can't afford to offend. The last sentence was like a clap of thunder in Chao Nanshan's ears. Chao Nanshan couldn't help but tremble slightly. He didn't expect the young man in front of him to be so straightforward. He really couldn't afford to offend the big shot who stirred up Su Hang, and then covered the sky with one hand. But no matter how he looked at it, the young man in front of him didn't seem like someone he could afford to offend. Young man, impulsiveness is the devil. This is definitely not a joke. Chao Nanshan's expression changed slightly. At the very least, he admired Su Yin's courage. Su Yin was still straightforward. Then, are you going to tell me or not? I just want one sentence. Chao Nanshan clenched his fists tightly. He didn't know if it was because of nervousness or anger, but a thin layer of sweat appeared on his forehead. Manager Zhai, who was standing at the door, was about to speak when Chao Nanshan raised his hand and said to him, You can leave first. Yes. Manager Zhai immediately closed the door and left without any hesitation. Looking at the closed door, the smile on Su Yun's face finally relaxed. Master Chow, it looks like you don't plan on inviting me out. Hee, now that there are only you and me in this room, can you tell me where Feng Qiansui's residence is? Chao Nanshan laughed dryly. It's been a long time since I've seen such a courageous young man like you. The fact that you've come to me is proof of your wisdom. You dared to mention Feng Qiansui's matter, which proves your courage. I wanted to send you off, but you didn't leave. This proves your persistence. I have no reason not to appreciate a young man like you. Su Yun, I can tell you where Feng Qiansui's residence is, but I have to give you a piece of advice first. Su Yun nodded. Master Chow, when I mentioned Master Feng's name, you didn't immediately turn hostile. At that time, I concluded that you two were friends. I believe that what you've said to me is advice. Su Yun, thank you in advance. I advise you not to go, Chao Nanshan said bluntly. Feng Qiansui's residence is located in the lakeside villa area south of Westlake in Suang. Su Yun stood up and bowed. Thank you. Then I'll leave first. I know that no one wants to get involved in this mess. Since Master Chow told me this information today, Su Yun will remember Master Chow's favor. Wait a minute, Chao Nanshan suddenly said. I know you won't listen to my advice, but I have to say a few more words. I'm not telling you this for a favor. I really don't want any accidents to happen to the people related to Feng Qiansui. What did this mean? It seemed to say that the people related to Feng Qiansui were in trouble. Su Yun frowned. It was indeed troublesome, but he really didn't plan to confront it head-on. He just wanted to see if there was any news about Chou Yun there. The lakeside villa area covers more than 100 acres, but there are only 8 villa properties in it. Dissatisfied with Brother Su Yun, I used to live there too. My relationship with Brother Feng is not as simple as friends and neighbors. We are also chess friends. I like Go, and he likes Go too. Chao Nanshan could not help but recall, and he could not help but feel uncomfortable. But things have changed over there. After that person came to Suang, Brother Feng was purged. How should I put it? It is a long story. Brother Su Yun, at my age, I'll endure some things if I can. Everyone wants to live a few more years. Now the 8 villa properties in the lakeside villa area have been seized by that person. If you want to go there, I'm afraid it'll be very difficult. Chao Nanshan's heartfelt words made Su Yun thank him again. Master Chow, you have said so much. I really don't know how to thank you. If there's a chance in the future, I'll definitely visit you to thank you. Chao Nanshan waved his hand and said, My old bones won't be able to help you much. I won't keep you any longer. You're making this old man tremble with fear. This time, I really have to see you out. Please stay. After Su Yun finished speaking, he stood up and left. After he walked out of the room, Manager Zhai was stunned for a moment before he walked into the room. When he saw Chao Nanshan safe and sound, he chased after him to send him off. However, when he came out, he couldn't see Su Yun anymore. Su Yun left very quickly. He wasn't just worried about bringing trouble to Chao Nanshan. He felt that if he continued to stay here, he would bring trouble to himself. Just as Manager Zhai was looking for Su Yun, Chao Nanshan also walked out of the room. He said in a low voice, Don't look for him. If he doesn't even have such skills, he wouldn't dare to come to Su Hang to ask about Feng Qiansui. Manager Zhai was stunned. He was about to speak when Chao Nanshan gestured for him to keep quiet and said, Other than you and me, who else knows that this kid is here? The 2 security guards on duty today, Manager Zhai said. Chao Nanshan looked at Manager Zhai with his deep and turbid eyes. I don't want to inform Green Ghost about this, so I don't want a third person to know. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, Master Chow. I know what to do. After Manager Zhai finished speaking, he walked to the door of the clubhouse. As he walked, he made a call. Arrange for 2 more security guards to be on duty tonight. These 2 people are too competent. I want to transfer them to a better place. Chao Nanshan laughed sinisterly. Of course, he knew what Manager Zhai meant by a better place. The King of Hell's palace was definitely better than this place. After Su Yun left the private clubhouse, he didn't directly go to the lakeside villa area that Chao Nanshan had mentioned. There was something fishy about this matter, and it was quite fishy. When he had just mentioned Feng Qiansui's name, Chao Nanshan's expression had a kind of fear, and definitely not the excitement of hearing about an old friend. Moreover, if his relationship with Feng Qiansui was really as bad as he said, Su Yun felt that Chou Yun's place in Suhang was very likely to be here. However, Chao Nanshan didn't mention Chou Yun from the beginning to the end. If it was because he didn't believe Su Yun that he didn't mention Chou Yun, then it was even more fishy. Since he didn't believe Su Yun, why did he say so much to Su Yun? He even told him that Green Ghost had occupied the lakeside villa area. In short, Su Yun felt that Chao Nanshan was definitely not a trustworthy person, so he wouldn't easily go to the lakeside villa area tonight. Although he wanted to find out Chou Yun's whereabouts, he also knew that this matter couldn't be rushed. The more he rushed things, the more the loss would outweigh the gain. If Chou Yun was really controlled by Green Ghost, then he was the only hope to save her. Therefore, Su Yun had to be more careful when doing things. Fortunately, Su Yun's trip this time was not in vain. At least he knew where Feng Qiansui lived. Maybe he could go take a look during the day tomorrow. There was a saying that the most dangerous place was the safest place. Similarly, the most dangerous time might also be the safest time. If that was really Green Ghost's lair, Green Ghost probably wouldn't believe that someone would dare to visit him during the day, especially Su Yun. Since that was the case, he decided to go back and rest early. After Su Yun made up his mind, he hailed a taxi. Along the way, he changed 3 different cars and gave 3 different addresses. Finally, he made a detour to the Swang Waltz Hotel. There was nothing wrong with being careful in a place like this. Originally, Su Yun wanted to talk to Wu Yuandong about his military matters, but he found that the door was locked. It seemed that he hadn't come back since he went out. Su Yun gave up the idea of calling him back. Since that was the case, he could only go talk to Sister Jiling obviously. In this hotel, Su Yun was more or less nervous. They were both adult men and women. A man and a woman in a hotel room. Wasn't it just like getting a room? Su Yun felt a little guilty when she thought of those scenes where she had to deal with the unspoken rules. Fortunately, the hotel had a good relationship. There weren't any paparazzi who would sneak in and take pictures. Otherwise, if he went into Ling Jiling's room, even if there was nothing wrong, it would definitely be reported that the Prince of Sky Entertainment had unspoken rules with Sister Jiling. Sister Jiling. Su Yun walked to Ling Jiling's door and knocked. It was reasonable to say that she wouldn't run around alone. After all, there was no team following her. As an A-list female star, showing up in public was equivalent to asking for trouble. Moreover, Su Yun could clearly hear the voices inside. He thought, is there a need to make so much noise while watching TV? However, when Su Yun knocked on the door, the voices in the room suddenly stopped. Su Yun narrowed his eyes slightly. He had already realized the existence of danger. When everything quieted down, Su Yun could clearly hear the sobbing of a woman in the room after her mouth was sealed. Sister Jiling, open the door. It's me. I know you're inside. Su Yun tried to make his tone as relaxed as possible and pretended that he didn't know anything. Only in this way could the person in the room let down her guard. Although Su Yun didn't know who was inside, he had to go in. He absolutely couldn't allow anything to happen to Ling Jiling under his watch. If there was trouble and the advertisement couldn't be filmed, then the benefits he promised to the old man would also be gone. Su Yun absolutely couldn't allow this kind of thing to happen in his world. Chapter 239. The whimpering sound Su Yun heard was still faintly coming from the room, followed by very light footsteps. Because the room was carpeted, even Su Yun couldn't tell how many people were walking towards the door. But he was sure that it was definitely not one person. Their feet wouldn't be messed up. Who was visiting in the middle of the night? Su Yun's mind turned quickly. He didn't believe that he would be targeted by Green Ghost forces as soon as he arrived in Suang. He also didn't believe that there would be a gang leader in Huaxia who would dare to kidnap a female celebrity openly. He also didn't believe that Ling Jiling had provoked someone she couldn't afford to provoke in the 2 hours he was out. In the end, Su-yun finally thought of the youth in a flowery shirt he met in the highway service area. Wu Yuandong had said that the kid's car number plate was from the Suang area. Could it be that that guy really wasn't afraid of death? Just as Su-yun figured it out, the door of the room was quickly pulled open. Before Su-yun saw the person, he saw a cold light pointing directly at his throat. Although Su-yun wanted to tell him that the machete wasn't used like that, he didn't see Ling Jiling's situation in the room, so he didn't say anything. "Come in." With a low growl, Su-yun was pulled into the room and closed the door. There were 5 young men in the room, all holding steel knives and iron rods in their hands. The woman on the bed with her mouth covered was obviously not Ling Jiling. Su-yun also didn't see the guy in the flowery shirt. Seeing this, Su-yun suddenly thought of the story of Haitian Silver Gun Little Tyrant. Did he go to the wrong floor? He only drank a glass of red wine today. How could he be so dizzy? It was really embarrassing. But since he saw this scene, Su-yun couldn't help but persuade earnestly, "Brothers, stop. What's the difference between your behavior and Haitian Silver Gun Little Tyrant Lee's?" He couldn't even deal with someone with such a strong background. No matter how powerful that pigeon was, she couldn't even protect her son. Do you think your mother can protect you? Even if the woman on this bed isn't a good person, you really can't do anything when she insists on biting you. Although Su-yun was trying his best to persuade them, the young men didn't seem to care about him at all. The girl on the bed pushed away the man's hand and scolded Su-yun angrily. "I'm playing the game of holding my breath and making a bet. Do you think I'm a bar hostess? Bah. I won't sell it for a few bucks." Su-yun was stunned for a moment. Could it be that he had misunderstood? However, he still said sincerely, "At least people know how much their bodies can be sold for. You don't need to spend money, and yet you're with so many men. Sigh, even if you're cheap, you don't have to ruin yourself like this, right?" The leader of the 5 youths sneered. "No wonder young Master Wei wants us to help him deal with you. Your words are so sarcastic. You're really asking for a beating. Brother Sun Chung, why are you still wasting your breath on him? Why don't we do it?" The short young man beside him looked like he was about to make a move, which made Su-yun very unhappy. Sun Chung was the person that Wei Yechen called. Wei Yechen wanted him to arrange for people to wait at the highway entrance for Su-yun's car to arrive at Suang. When Wei Yechen got off the highway and arrived here, the time was ripe. Su-yun and Wu Yuandong weren't at the hotel. Only Ling Jiling was there. These lawless local thugs suddenly had evil intentions. Wei Yechen actually forcefully took Ling Jiling away, not even afraid of the surveillance cameras in the hotel corridor. Since he was young, he always thought that even if he caused trouble, his father would pay and his godfather would use his connections to settle it for him. Originally, Wei Yechen wanted Sun Chung and the rest to leave together. He also said that Su-yun's skills were extraordinary, and that his 4 bodyguards weren't his match. However, Sun Chung pulled open his clothes and showed Wei Yechen the real thing. At that time, Wei Yechen was stunned. Sun Chung promised Wei Yechen that he would definitely beat up the guy who bullied him in the service area and bring him back. If Sun Chung didn't show Wei Yechen the real thing, Wei Yechen wouldn't have let Sun Chung and the rest stay here. It was because of that real thing that their self-confidence was greatly inflated. That was why a group of sloppy and hooligans appeared in Ling Jiling's room. Su-yun should feel lucky about this. If these guys didn't stay here because of their arrogance, he might really think that Sister Ling Jiling went out to play. Sun Chung stood up. In his hand was a big black star that he got from the black market. It was a Type 54 pistol that had been retired from the military. Because there was a black star on the handle, it was called the Black Star by most people. It was because of this gun and 8 bullets that Sun Cheng's courage increased by several times. He was also more savage than before. He suddenly raised his leg and wanted to kick Su-yun's chest. Su-yun was not someone who would meekly submit to adversity. How could he fall for this trick? He stretched out his hand and grabbed Sun Cheng's right leg that was about to kick him. At the same time, he swiftly and violently struck Sun Cheng's left calf. When he kicked, Su-yun suddenly let go of Sun Cheng's hand. Sun Cheng did a split and got stuck on the ground. He immediately covered his thigh and screamed in pain. Su-yun's action instantly made the group of people in the room stare. They originally thought that Su-yun would be scared to death after seeing the pistol. However, They didn't expect him to not hesitate at all. He didn't hesitate at all to hit you. Sun Chung, who did a split, wasn't someone who would admit defeat. He covered his thigh with one hand and gritted his teeth. At the same time, he raised his Type 54 pistol and aimed it at Su Yun's face. He roared angrily, "Bastard! How dare you? Believe it or not, I'll shoot you." No matter what happened, as long as Sun Chung took out his gun, his opponent would definitely be defeated. No one wouldn't admit defeat. Therefore, he had developed a habit of thinking that everyone's legs would go soft when they saw a pistol. After all, he had never held a gun to a real fierce person's head. Therefore, he didn't know that there were some people in the world who wouldn't put such a threat in their eyes. Su Yun was one of these people. He directly reached out and grabbed the pistol. He forcefully turned it in the opposite direction. Sun Cheng's wrist instantly showed an incredible angle. When everyone saw this scene, they couldn't help but wait for the sound of bones breaking. However, Su Yun didn't do that. When Sun Cheng's wrist couldn't bear it anymore, he had already let go of the pistol in his hand. Su Yun's purpose was to get the gun, not Sun Cheng's hand. A few seconds ago, Sun Cheng was still arrogantly shouting at Su Yun. In the blink of an eye, even the gun was in the hands of the other party. Sun Cheng wasn't the only one who was stunned. His 4 friends and the worthless woman were also stunned. Su Yun sneered. He played with the pistol that represented Huaxia's classic with one hand. Although many people outside of Huaxia said that the 54 caliber pistol was small, had a strong penetrating power, and could easily hurt innocent people. It was easy to misfire, the trigger was heavy, and the recoil was big. However, it was still a favorite of Huaxia people. For example, Su Yun felt that the performance of this gun was very stable and safe. It was also very accurate within the effective range. As for the misfire, for example, if the hammer was in the closed position, it would be impossible to misfire. It was very simple. As long as the firing pin was pushed back a little, there would be a stop there, and the trigger wouldn't be able to be pulled. This was also why Su Yun dared to take the gun so boldly. It was because he knew from the beginning that the trigger wouldn't be able to be pulled. Su Yun unlocked the safety of the pistol in front of Sun Chung and said to him lightly, "Have you never fired a gun before? Do you want me to teach you? A gun without the safety can't be fired. You don't even know this and you still play with guns?" After that, Su Yun pointed the muzzle at Sun Chung, whose legs were already weak. Sun Chung knew that he played with fire today and burned himself. In a panic, he pulled the woman in front of him as a shield. The woman saw this and complained on the spot. Sun Chung covered her mouth again. The woman could only make the whimpering sound again. It's useless. The caliber of the Type 54 pistol is 7.62 millimeters. The cartridge case is longer, and the explosive power of the military gunpowder is stronger. Also, it is different from the popular 9mm caliber pistols. After those pistols hit the first target, it will explode in the first target's body. The bullet of the Type 54 pistol is smaller, so the penetrating power is stronger. Within the effective range, it can penetrate a steel helmet. After penetrating a person, the bullet will still be lethal. So, there's no point for you to hide behind her. Su Yun felt that these gun illiterates were really insulting guns. Once she heard that the bullet could penetrate her body, the woman struggled even more crazily. In exchange, Sun Cheng fought even harder to subdue her. If the bullet could hit through a person, and there was nothing to block it, she would definitely die. Su Yun used his handgun to take a good look at the group of trembling little brats. With a sneer, he threw the handgun to the ground. "This gun has probably fired a few hundred rounds. Where did you buy it? If you don't use a file to polish the sleeve and the frame, I guarantee that when you pull the trigger, the cartridge will jam." Although Su Yun said it so casually, Sun Cheng didn't hesitate to push the woman away. He pounced on the ground like a hungry wolf and picked up the Type 54 pistol. He aimed at Su Yun and pulled the trigger. He didn't hesitate at all because he felt that Su Yun really trampled on his dignity. Su Yun clicked his tongue. "Didn't I tell you before? The cartridge will definitely jam. The design of the gun is fine, but there is a problem with the workmanship. You didn't believe me." At this moment, the people in the room almost worshipped Su Yun as a god. This person is too awesome. It's simply, although he said that, Soo-yun didn't show mercy to Sun Cheng, who wanted to shoot him. He kicked Sun Cheng's face fiercely. His face was full of blood, but he didn't even have the chance to make a sound before he fainted. Insta-kill, absolutely insta-kill. The group of followers couldn't even hold a knife in their hands, let alone kill someone. If Sun Cheng couldn't do it with a gun, they wouldn't believe that they could do it with a knife. You're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.